This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Ready to rock and roll. And as we promised you, we are at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Yes, the Forever 400. We're going to have some fun today. Brendan Poole, race car driver, is going to join us later on the program. Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald to talk a little Miami Heat. Safid Dean from the USA Today to talk a little Miami Dolphins. Cameron Wolf from the NFL Network to talk a little Dolphins and Eagles. And he was at last night's Thursday night game, too, where things didn't go too well for Derek Carr. Or the Moreau kid that he had the brutal drop yesterday. So, so we got a loaded show for you. Got all kinds of things going on. So we should have some fun. Although I will tell you this, I probably have a better chance of winning the Mobile One Forever 400 than Jim Jordan does of winning the speaker today. For just saying. I mean. They're going to have the vote again. I guess he's a masochist and he wants to go through pain. It's probably what's going on. But anyway, it should be fun today to watch that disaster as it takes place. Steven says, damn, my eardrums are bleeding. Well, so is everybody else's out here. Look at that. And I got them in time because, see, none of them have their earpieces on right now because the engines aren't going on. You know what I'm saying? So I busted them all right now. Throughout. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today on the show. I am pumped. It's a weekend that I'm excited and terrified. Okay? Excited. We got a great race in town, right? Dolphins with a hell of a test on Sunday night. And then I'm terrified for Saturday night because the Canes and Clemson, I just think that's going to be ugly. That is going to be ugly. The Heat, by the way, tonight are playing their final preseason game. So that's good. This preseason, I can only watch so much, and 5 games is more than enough. I almost feel like I enjoy the summer league more than I enjoy the preseason. Why is that? Is it because, like in the summer league, I'm excited to see if there's anything new, whereas in the preseason, I kind of already know what's there, and then I'm just wanting to start the regular season, just like, you know what it is? I guess it's kind of like football. That the football preseason, I just want them to stay healthy. That's all I give a shit about. You know what I'm saying? Sure, they tell you, oh, playing time. Bro, there ain't much playing time. Just stay healthy, bro. I don't want you twisting up an ankle in practice or getting injured in a game that doesn't mean anything or something like that. So it's basically get healthy, and by the Heat are going to have some injuries already to start the regular season. So we shall see what happens there. They will open up next Wednesday against Detroit, a very winnable game. Although Detroit's not that bad, they've got some skill. I will say that. What else do we have going on? Jags beat the Saints last night, 31-24. Etienne with 2 touchdowns in that one. If you're a fantasy player and started Etienne, that's good. And let's get a victory cigar for the Florida Panthers last night. They defeat the Maple Leafs 3-1. Yeah, baby. Perdomo cigars. By the way, have you been to the Perdomo cigar factory there in Miami Lakes? You should go check it out. 5150 Northwest 167th Street. They're in Miami Gardens, actually, not Miami Lakes. They got a big old humidor there with all the Perdomo cigars, giant leather couch, like 30-foot couch. I am not lying when I'm telling you. It's like a 30-foot couch. I mean, thing's enormous. I got a big old, beautiful color TV, like a 60-inch screen so you can watch. And then they got a pool table so you can enjoy your favorite Perdomo cigar. And then you'll feel like a winner too. So we'll have a victory cigar for you when you go down there. Ricardo Cuchican, thank you for the love on the super chat early in the morning, sir. Thank you. Thank you. He says, Big O, what do you think about flag football going to the Olympics? Dream team or college players? Oh, I want Tyreek Hill on that one, man. I'm going for the best players that we have, period. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, no, definitely. They want to play that game. Go ahead. Let's go. So, yeah, get me Tyreek Hill into flag football. Although it'll be kind of tough because they are under contract, and the NFL may not allow stuff like that to, put your players at risk for injuries and things like that. What are you saying? What are you about to say?
No, the Summer Olympics is what, like August, July?
Yeah.
And that would go right into
camp.
training camps and things like that. I don't know how
not going to happen.
out.
That's a great point. Not going to happen. Yeah, not going to happen. No way. Not going to happen. But hey, they added a bunch of sports. I read the sports that they added. Whatever, man. It's cool. Whatever.
Let's be honest. With college players, if you can't win flag football with college players.
Right. No, I know.
I mean, come on.
This is our sport.
I get basketball. They caught up with us, and, there's a lot of European players that are – I mean, that's a different –
In football, there's nobody even close.
Maybe Australia, right, because of rugby?
Still, not even close.
They might hit people.
Not even close, because their game is a little bit more physical and more of a prodding game, whereas the NFL, hell no, dude. It's explosive. Dude.
About 7-on-7 all over the place now.
Yeah, no.
We start that in Little League football now.
Yeah.
It's got 7-on-7. By then, you got a dream team already.
Yeah, no, but you're right. With college, we should be able to get away with those kind of guys easily with college. Plus, let me tell you something. There's some of these, like, pro flag leagues. Some of those guys probably are they don't play NFL, but they're probably just as fast as some NFL players. And then they know that game so well that they probably also know the nuances of that game a little better than an NFL player would too. You know what I'm saying? It's like an and one thing. A lot of those guys that play and one basketball, they're incredibly talented. You know what I'm saying? They may not play NBA, but they'll run circles around most of us. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Thank you, Ricardo. And remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at any time whenever you're watching the show or watching a segment or whatever. You like something, you hate it, you got a question, we'll answer it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And you can send in some Bitcoin, which, by the way, Bitcoin hit 30. Went back down a little bit right now to 29,500. It's been traveling between 29.5 and 29.7 now in the last, couple of hours, but it already hit 30,000 this morning. It is in this trajectory now. That's it. It's over now. Because here comes the ETFs. This is going to get crazy, dude. Crazy. When all these ETFs come down, the amount of billions that is going to pour in to crypto and especially Bitcoin. I don't know about the altcoins yet when they're pumping like a lot. That's coming. But I told you guys either September or October, we're going to start making that turn. And it's October and we're making that turn. And here we go. You won't see Bitcoin at these prices ever again. It's over. Those of us that bought it at 16.5, those of us that bought it at 22 and at 25, you will never see it at that price ever again. The next time there's a dip, it's going to be into the 50s and the 60s and the 70s maybe. Because this thing is going to go past 100 now. Okay? This is going to get, explosive. And when the halving starts in April, where less Bitcoins are produced and the demand will be higher, Bitcoin's rate hit the highest it's been in value in Argentina today. All these countries that have disastrous situations with their economy and their dollar, they're going to inherit Bitcoin as their currency. And eventually it'll become a currency here because our dollar is also going. Every dollar in the world is going to crash eventually because they all have the same stupid banking system that the English brought to all of us. And so it's a house of cards and it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, man. And I've been preaching this for a couple of years now. Okay? When it explodes, you guys are going to go, shit. He was right. That crazy bastard was right. He can't only predict that Brian Flores is going to get fired in a winning streak. He also predicts that Bitcoin is going to tear it up. That's right. And we also predicted to buy your season ticket so you can sell and make some money off Messi. And if you did, you didn't take Sean. Did they take us to dinner for making them that money with the Messi tickets? Tell you, you folks out there made some money off of a tip. Yeah. Didn't we give them 2-1 yesterday, last week against the number? We're giving you, this show not only gives you information, but it makes you money. And we're not financial advisors by any stretch. Are you a financial advisor? I know I'm not. But wow, we making money for you all out there all the time. Damn. Anthony Campbell says, rocking my throwback long sleeve for the game Sunday and watching it at Flanagan's. I'm sorry, hold on. Flanagan's. All right, there we go. Which are better than vitamins or Flintstones. Let's go, Finns. Going to be a shootout. Let's hope they shoot out the Eagles. That's all. Give me Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Devin Achan for Team USA. Would be nice, but ain't gonna happen. I think we need to give Connor another week to get right. Well, I don't know what we need. I don't know how he feels, my brother. You know what I mean? I'm not in his body, so maybe he's good to go. And against that Philly front, if he can play, you got the Patriots after. You could use Liam Eichenberg the week after. Okay, and wait a minute, and then it's Casey after that. Okay, so then we can bring Connor back. Give him a week off next week. Okay, Connor play this week. You'll get a week off next week, and then we go. I don't know, against Philly. I kind of want Connor Williams in there, man. I need a beast of a blocker against that defensive line, dude. So if I can get Connor Williams back, man, that's what I want. You know, I don't know about you all, but that's what I would want. I see Steve Chapman's first in. Fangio's defense needs to step up this week. Yes, the Dolphins. The Dolphins have to play the best game they've ever played under Mike McDaniel. End of story. Last year, this year so far. They have to play the greatest game they've ever played under Mike McDaniel. And the defense has to step up and do it right, man. You know? And play with the kind of physicality that they have yet to show. You know, Philadelphia is going to want to punch Miami in the mouth. Offensively, defensively, that line of scrimmage, they're going to want to dominate that. And Miami has to go in with the same kind of attitude that they want to dominate. See, Miami needs to send a message to the rest of the NFL that we can punch you in the mouth. Not only can we run you off the field, which everybody knows you can already do that, but okay, so when we have to deal with the Eagles and the Bills and all that, we're not going to back down. Unlike like they did a couple of weeks ago with the Bills, that was just an absolute horrible performance. Where, again, perfect word for it was fraudulent. Wait a minute, I thought you guys were really good. Well, you didn't play that way. So that shit can't happen, man. This is the one where you got to send a message that you're more than just finesse to the rest of the NFL. You know, yesterday we talked about sending the Eagles a message. Well, this is your chance to send the rest of the NFL a message that we're not going to be pushed around. Like what happened with Buffalo, that was an aberration. If you get pushed around again on Sunday, then people are going to say, yeah, the Dolphins are definitely a fast team. But if you've got the personnel to punch them in the mouth, they will then cave in. And I doubt they want that on Sunday night. I think they want to send a different message than what they sent 3 weeks ago against the Bills. Don't you? I think they do. Brian Walters is in. Jamie Zoria is in. He's out in San Jose. Says, I hope everyone's having a great week. Remember to smash the like button, people. Fins up. Steve Chapman says, Mike Florio is such a clown. He was just on with Joe. I was listening to Joe. I was already off the car when the Florio stuff started. What did he say? He said that the Dolphins have to decide if they want to pay Tua big money or if they could find someone else to do what he's doing. Well, you know what, Steve? Let's get into this. Because I know Chris Perkins is stirring it up in the Sun Sentinel with his whole Tyreek thing for MVP, which, by the way, is not an insult to Tua in any way, shape, or form. Tyreek should be in the conversation for MVP with the kind of numbers he's putting, and so should Tua. Okay? Listen, the bottom line is the Dolphins haven't had a franchise quarterback in 25 years since Dan Marino. The fact that some people out there think that you can get any slapdick and put him right where Tua's at, and he's going to do everything that Tua's doing, that's just incredibly stupid and ignorant. Okay? Anybody that thinks you can plug in another guy to do it, you know what I want you to do? All of you out there, I haven't talked about it. Have you seen the Tua special yet, Sean? It's called Tua Tagovailoa, A Prophecy in the Making. Have you watched it yet? You haven't watched it. It's a 50-minute movie about him. They've got footage of him from all the way in high school, going through the Elite 11s with Trent Dilfer, going through the draft, suffering the injury, going through the rehab. This is what I want you to do, okay? I'm going to give some of this away, and I've been wanting to hold it because it's been out. And I figured if you're a Tua fan, if you're a Dolphin fan like I am, you would have watched it already. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to know, I want you to watch the video, and I want you to watch Tua dominate at every level. I want you to watch Tua overcome everything that's put in front of him. Every time he's challenged by his dad, by his coaches, by injuries, by setbacks, he then comes back even stronger every single time. He went to the Elite 11s, and Trent Dilfer calls his ass out in front of all the other quarterbacks and said, "You are super gifted and talented, but you are undisciplined." And Tua was like, "Man," like he said it after, like he didn't challenge Trent publicly or anything. He's like, "Man, me? What?" And you know what his dad and his mom did? They went to Trent and said, "Okay, tell us, what does he need to work on?" Boom, 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 boom. They show you the video, him working all that stuff. He comes back to the Elite 11. He's the best quarterback in the country. He's kicking Jalen Hurts' ass in practice every week, even though Jalen Hurts is winning and cannot lose and does not lose, and you cannot bench someone that's not losing. But everybody knew that Tua was the better quarterback. And then when Jalen couldn't come through in the national championship game in that first half, Saban turned to his coaching staff and said, "We're going to have to, you guys all know we have to do this tough decision right now." And they started Tua, and the rest is history. And there's more to the story. It is a phenomenal 52 minutes of a great look inside the Tagovailoa family, the bond, how they brought him up, the way he was challenged since he was a child because his dad was a really good football player, and how all the things that he did to mold Tua. And so when you see what kind of human being he is, the structure he has around him, the foundation of his family, and the belief that he has in his abilities, it just, if you question Tua and you think others are wired like him after watching that, after watching his career, I can't help you, dude. I can't help you. You're hopeless. I don't know what it is where some of you out there have a problem understanding what a great talent is. And that's what that guy is. And I've been trying to explain this for years now, that he's a great talent. He's a great passer, a great quarterback, a great human being, a great leader. He has every single quality that you can have and all the ability in the world to more than succeed in the NFL. Don't know why people make that up. And then to have people out there that you think just anybody can do this because Mike McDaniel, this, that, oh, well, we can put any other guy and he's going to do no, he won't. He won't even come close. The precision passer that he is, that doesn't exist in the NFL. There's only maybe less than a handful of guys that have his ability at passing in the windows and the timing and everything else that he sees. Very few people in the NFL see that. There's a pass in the national championship game. They show it. I want you, when you watch that, when you watch this, you have to watch this. When you see his vision where he threw that ball and the receiver was, yards away, dude. And there was like 4 or 5 people in the area crossing. And for him to know where everyone is and to throw the timing of that pass, No college quarterback can do it at that moment. Okay? No college quarterback can do it at that moment. It's a sick thing. And the faster you get on track to realize that you were not just wrong, but I mean incredibly wrong. Okay? Just watch that. And then go back and think about everything that guy's overcome and think about how he has been elite at every level. High school, college, and look what he's done 2 years in a row. He's in the MVP race 2 years in a row. You think that's by accident? You think that's by luck? And if you think just anybody else can do it, then you're a fucking idiot. You don't know anything about football. You don't understand this sport, and you certainly don't understand the quarterback position. The most moronic thing in the world is to think that you can plug somebody in and do the same thing that Tua is doing. You have gone 25 years since Marino with a boatload of coaches and coaches like Changeli and Norv Turner and guys that actually know some offense. And you've had a boatload of quarterbacks go through here. None of them come close to this guy. And to think that this grows on trees, it's so ignorant. It's not even funny. It really is. It makes you sound like such an ass clown to think that anybody can do what Tua's doing just because McDaniel's coaching you. You're an absolute moron. Jimmy Garoppolo had great talent. You remember that throw in the Super Bowl? What do you think happens if Tua makes that throw? Touchdown, right? Touchdown. Everybody can't do it. That's the difference. Jimmy Garoppolo played in the system. He'll never make the throws that Tua can make. If San Francisco had Tua a few years back, Super Bowl, baby. Why do you think they called me a nutbag 3 years ago, right? And I said, remember that? When I said, hey, take Tannehill to Tennessee and put Tua in, they're in the playoffs. Take Kirk Cousins out of Minnesota, put Tua in there, they're making a deep playoff run. Take Matt Stafford out, and the Rams win the Super Bowl with Tua. I said all of those things a couple of years ago when everybody was bashing him. Enough of the ignorance already, dude. Okay? Most in the history can't do what Tua is doing now. Not most right now in the NFL. Most in the history of the NFL can't do what Tua is doing. Only the elite of the elite can pass the way that guy is playing. Let's go to Anthony Chang. Let's switch gears and talk a little Miami Heat with our BaptistHealth.net/ortho Miami Heat report.
Heat fans, the fast break is on. It's our Baptist Health of South Florida Heat report with insider Anthony Chang. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net. Here's Anthony Chang.
All right. So where are you at with that? You believe in any of that silliness that we got people throwing out there that somebody else can be plugged in because McDaniel's coaching him and they'll be just like Tua?
Yeah, I think any decent basketball player can do what Jimmy Butler did in the playoffs last year under Eric Spoelstra, right? I mean, it makes sense. Eric Spoelstra's a great coach. He puts guys in position to succeed.
That's right.
So I just think you replace Jimmy Butler with, like, I don't know, some random player, and he'll probably put up 30 on 60%.
Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons was here, he would do exactly what Jimmy Butler's doing. You know,
it's kind of crazy. It's just people that I think were doubting Tua from the beginning, and now they're just trying to
move the goalpost.
Exactly. Yeah.
Move the goalpost. Move the goalpost. It's like, dude, you're wrong already. Let it go
already. And move forward. Right.
Did you watch that special that just came out? It's called Tua Tagovailoa, A Prophecy in the Making. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You have to watch it.
I'll watch it.
Like seriously, it's some of the best 50 minutes you will spend in your life. You will cry, by the way, because it's just an emotional type of thing with his family and everything.
Mhm.
You know, it's just, and then you watch him dominate at every level, dude.
Yeah.
Like it shows you how he goes about everything, and it is just nuts, dude. Like he told his family that if he gets a shot, okay, I'm kind of ruining this, but sorry. But he told his family, because I'm so pissed at all this other crap out there, and it's like I want you to watch this. He goes to his family the night before the national championship game, which Jalen Hurts is starting.
Yeah.
And you know he may not even play or anything. They said maybe they'll get a package, get him out there maybe. So he doesn't even know he's playing, right? And he goes to his parents. If I get in the game, our name will be known forever and all over the world.
Wow.
Uh,
Goosebumps.
you got to have the,
Yeah.
the nuts that are bigger than Homestead Miami Speedway where I'm at right now. Have the kind of nuts that don't fit in the pit here, okay? To say to your parents, hey, if I get a shot, our name will be known all over the world when I'm done. Like you called your shot, dude.
Yeah.
You called your shot. And
You're
this
right. He hadn't done much he hadn't done anything on the college level yet before
no,
that.
but leading up to that, they show you how he was kicking Jalen Hurts'
In
ass in
practice.
practice constantly. And that's why at halftime, Saban said, guys, we have to make this tough decision. And kudos to Saban. That's a ballsy decision.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Hurts wasn't losing any games. You couldn't bench the guy. You can't bench somebody that doesn't lose. And,
In
and you know,
that spot, in the national championship game, it's not like it's a middle of the season game playing LSU. No, you're in the championship game. You're putting in a guy who hasn't played all season.
a sophomore.
Yeah,
That's
okay. Unheard of.
I just you got to watch that. And for any of the doubters out there, you need to watch so you can see what this guy's made of, too. And maybe you need a reminder or something. But when someone dominates at every level, and like the last 2 years he's in the MVP conversation, how stupid can you be to think that anybody can do this?
Yeah.
People
And it's not just the physical gifts either. It's mental too. I mean,
right
his first 2 years were not easy playing for
playing
Brian
for a
Flores.
guy.
That we now know, right? Like that was not easy to bounce back from that. Still have confidence, do what he did, last season, and then have the concussion issues, and still come back this year. Try to do everything he could this offseason to help stay healthy and to avoid as many hits to the head as possible, and fall differently and protect himself, and then now play even better this season.
Yeah,
he's a mentally tough guy. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, you come off the bench to win the national championship, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a cool scene, right, where they show Trent Dilfer ripping into him right in front of everybody in the Elite 11. And you are undisciplined, he was telling him. And Tua took it to heart. His parents went to Trent, said, okay, what does he need to work on? He went and worked on it the entire offseason. They showed the video and everything. He comes back to the Elite 11 the following year, best quarterback in the nation. You know, everything he told him to work on, he was the best at it.
Wow.
You know, it's right. He's wired differently. I keep trying to tell people this, and it's just, whatever, bro. It just I don't get it. I don't get it. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Well, tonight, as a writer, do you kind of get to the point like, thank God, bro, this is the last preseason game now. I get to start talking about real stuff.
Real things.
Yeah.
That was me after the second game. Yeah. I'm just happy. They used to have 8 preseason games. Imagine that. So I'm just happy it's 5 this year.
I was telling Sean that I enjoy Summer League more than preseason. Because Summer League, I don't know what I'm going to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm waiting for the new guy to find out, and then preseason, we kind of know what it is. I almost want them just to stay healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially by the 5th preseason game. Maybe the first one, you're like, oh, I'm going to see who's improved, see some of the young guys that perform at this level. But by the 5th preseason game, it's like, all right, let's just, everyone stay healthy. Let's get to the regular season.
Let's get to it. And by the way, healthy, they're not. So what are we dealing with here going into Detroit next Wednesday?
Yeah, there's 3 guys who their availability for the season opener is in question, and one that's definitely going to be out next week. Haywood Highsmith, who it's unfortunate because he's had a really good preseason. His best performance of the preseason was a few nights ago. Been shooting the 3-ball well. He obviously can defend really well, can rebound, versatile. Was gonna be in the rotation. Like it was clear cut rotation level player now at this point of his career, and he's gonna be out for at least 2 weeks. He has an MCL sprain. Going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So it could be probably if he's going to be evaluated in 2 weeks, that probably is going to be longer than that. So unfortunately for him, and unfortunately for the Heat, he's not going to be ready for at least the first week of the season, and it might go beyond that.
MCL sprain, couple weeks. Wonder.
Doesn't need another player in the area that has
doesn't need surgery, huh? Well, there might be a running back for the Miami Dolphins. Right. They haven't said anything about his injury, and he didn't need surgery. And I don't know, it might be also an MCL sprain. But at least the Heat tell us it's an MCL sprain. The Dolphins haven't said if it's an MCL sprain. Yeah. I wonder if it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The other two guys are Josh Richardson, who hurt his foot last game. Weird. I think he had his left foot injury that forced him to miss the second and third preseason games. Then he hurt his right foot in the fourth preseason game. Fortunately for him, the MRI was negative, came back clean, just kind of a tweak of the foot. He's day-to-day. But again, will he be ready in 6 days for the season opener? That's up in the air as well. And then Jaime Jaquez, which we've talked about, Big O, the growing injury that he suffered last week in practice. Strain growing. He's been doing a little more. I saw him yesterday after practice working on the court with assistant coaches, putting up shots. So that's a good sign. But again, a growing, that's tricky. I don't know if he'll be ready for the start of the season. So those three guys are the ones that their availability right now is up in the air.
Do the Heat have too many soft tissue injuries?
I mean, last year they were one of the most injured teams in the league.
I'm just wondering, since changes were made because Ron Culp's gone, right? Obviously. Yes. And I wonder how much that training staff has changed, because the last couple of years, and now I'm watching in the preseason here, it's a lot of soft tissue injuries, bro.
Yeah.
With the Miami Heat. What the hell is going on with that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's a fair question. I know people on Twitter have been asking the same question. Why do the Heat keep getting so injured, right? It's like it's nonstop. Last year was just a revolving door of injuries. Some of it are freak injuries. Some of it is just like, I think Jaime said, he just went for a dunk in practice and he felt something pull in his groin. Right. So
is he not getting stretched out right? Is it, I'm wondering, because when it's so many different people, if it's the same dude that's habitually injured because he's injury prone, then we all get it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We all understand that. We know what Kyrie Irving is, or Odell Beckham, or somebody that is constantly injured. But this is all over, up and down the roster, and I've been wondering that. I've been asking myself, what the hell is going on with the Heat and their training staff? And I have to kind of lean to the training staff, because it's not just, like I said, it's not just one player, it's many players.
Yeah, I mean, there are some new faces of, I don't know if, again, I'm not blaming them, but there are new faces. Ron Culp obviously isn't there.
Jaquez has already had several injuries. Jaquez has already had several injuries, and he's barely here.
Yeah. I mean, Jaquez dealt with injuries in UCLA too, right? The foot, different. I think the ankle. It was the ankle, actually, the bone spurs in the ankle. So he's dealt with injuries in his college career as well. So that'll be something to monitor, right? If it becomes an issue with him. But look, I don't know what it is. It could just be luck. It could just be coincidence. But the Heat do work players hard, right? We know that. They work them hard in practice. Their system demands a lot on defense. They cover, they're always moving. On offense, they're always moving. So does that have something to do with it? Is it a combination of things? I don't know. But the point is, they're always dealing with injuries. It's just unfortunate for them. It's crazy that they've been able to have this success the last 4 years, really, with all the injuries they've had. They've been lucky that Jimmy and Bam really haven't had a serious injury, other than Bam having that thumb issue a few years ago when he missed like 2 or 3 months. But other than that, Bam and Jimmy have stayed relatively healthy.
They're lucky they got the best chef in the NBA.
And that, yeah.
Okay. The best chef in the NBA saves their ass. every single year. That guy is so good. So they should give him 2 salaries. One for being the head coach and the other one for just being so damn good at what he does, man. I'm just so impressed with Spo every single year. And I shouldn't be impressed already at this point. At this point, I should just take it for granted.
Just expect it, yeah.
You're right, and I don't. It's just every year he does something else, and I'm like, this guy is just out of control as a coach, man.
Yeah.
I just love watching this guy do his thing because the Heat are in great hands. Whoever the team is, they're going to be maxed out because that guy is going to, get the most out of them. When you look at Spo, what's his best trait to you?
I think it's his ability to mold his system based on the roster he has.
Yeah.
Look, did you ever think that he would play as much zone as they have the past few years? Did you think a Heat team under Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra learned from Pat Riley?
Right.
He it's not like he came in and didn't share Pat Riley's philosophy.
He just didn't copy Pat Riley.
He just didn't copy Pat Riley. He made his own, which is but he's adapted to his roster. He's adapted to the modern game. He's kind of been revolutionary in a way. When the big three, he was kind of playing positionless basketball, playing smaller, and people were like, "What are you doing? How is Shane Battier playing a power forward?" And supposedly, no, I'm positionless. Like we have basically smalls and bigs, and that's it.
Right.
So I think that's his best trait is that he thinks out of the box. He's creative, kind of like McDaniel in a way, right? Like McDaniel's one of his best traits is just being innovative, not just doing stuff because it's been done before and sticking with that. Like doing things differently. And yes, maybe receive some criticism or maybe it doesn't work sometimes. But you like a guy who's going to try new things and be innovative and be creative. And again, mold his system around the talent he has. That's, I think, what makes a really good coach. Not a coach that tries to fit players into his system. Because that usually doesn't work.
Yeah, no, definitely. It rarely ever works like that. That's usually a recipe for disaster. All right. Well, we're getting ready for the Rockets tonight. What are you expecting tonight, bro?
I mean, most of the guys traveled, surprisingly. I thought last preseason game on the road, I thought most of the guys would stay in Miami.
Well,
That's what they did in San Antonio.
The injuries.
Yeah, right. But at this point, with so many guys dealing with injuries, I'd be scared if I were the Heat to play guys in the preseason finale, right? Like, I just stay healthy. But Bam traveled, Tyler Hero traveled, Kyle Lowry traveled, Caleb Martin traveled. So there's a chance Caleb could play today for the first time this preseason. And I know Caleb wants to get in a game before the regular season. The only guys who didn't travel are Jaime, Josh Richardson, Haywood Highsmith, and Jimmy Butler, which Jimmy Butler, again, with another dental procedure that he had this morning, actually. They left it open-ended saying that he might meet the team in Houston. And if he meets a team in Houston, if he's flying there on the day of the game to Houston, he's probably going to play. But we'll wait and see to see if he shows up. I don't expect it, right? It seems like a little much for a preseason game to travel up the day of a game. I know maybe the Heat want to get guys together and play everyone together maybe one time before the start of the season, but that's kind of overstated. They've played with each other the last 4 years. I mean, it's pretty much the same core. And they've been practicing for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Like, they'll be okay.
By the way, no player, I don't know, maybe in the history of the Heat has ever blended in with his teammates faster
than Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this. Like Jimmy, it doesn't matter who's on the court. He figures it out and he plays productive, and if he needs to set them up, he sets them up. And if he needs to take over, he takes over. And I that's the one thing where I have to say I was so wrong about Jimmy. When I first thought he decided to come here, he decided to come here because now it could be his team and he can score the points, and he can lead the team and all that. And what he has led is in being the most selfless Heat player I have ever seen in my life, to be quite honest. I mean, he truly puts the team first before him and his stats. He truly doesn't give a shit about his stats. Whatever they are, and that's because he had to do that day. He had to score 10 or 40. It is what it is. He is the most selfless player you've ever seen with the Heat, correct?
In a way, yes, his game is very selfless. Yeah. And he makes it sound easy. He makes it look easy and he makes it sound easy. We spoke with him yesterday at practice, actually. And he's like, basketball is easy. If I'm open, I shoot it. If I don't, I pass it. He just makes it sound so easy, and that's kind of how he plays, right? Like he's gonna take a good shot if he has one. If not, he's gonna find the open guy and hope the guy makes it. And that's pretty much how he plays. He makes it look easy, and he honestly, when he explains it, he makes it sound. I was like, oh, I could do that too.
Dude, it's not like I want to pick on Sherman Douglas or Tim Hardaway or Jason Williams or the history or Kyle Lowry or any of these guards, but this is a shooting guard. He doesn't have to share nearly as much. He doesn't have to create nearly as much. He doesn't have to worry so much like he does on the defensive end. He does everything and anything possible to help his team win and facilitate for his teammates. I'm telling you, man, I've never seen anything like it.
As Eric Spoelstra calls it, winning plays. That's what he did. He makes it's kind of similar to LeBron in a way, where like he would get criticized for making a pass late in the game, and it's like he's gonna make the right play. The result might not work out, but the process, he's gonna continue doing this, going through the same process of making the right basketball play every time. And that's what Jimmy Butler does, and that's what makes him great.
Yeah, I can't say enough about him. What do you got going on in the Herald so folks can check it out, my man?
Yeah, posted something yesterday kind of previewing tonight's preseason finale, the questions entering the game. There are a few, obviously. How are the Heat going to respond to these injuries now? Who's going to play tonight? Again, most of the roster, except for the injured guys, traveled, and maybe, Jimmy Butler's a TBD. But we could see most of the regulars playing tonight. I mean, they made the trip. We could see Caleb Martin for the first time tonight in this preseason game. And then the last question is, who's going to get the final roster spots? You and I have spoken about it. Seems like Jamal Cain is the front runner. If Jamal Cain is promoted to the standard contract, who's going to get his two-way spot? Looks like Cole Swider, right, might be the guy on the Exhibit 10 guys, or maybe it's an outside name that we don't.
Hey, Drew Smith with the 10 assists the other night. I really like that, by the way.
Drew Smith maybe could be. I still think Jamal Cain is the front runner, but Drew Smith maybe. I know the Heat really like him. Yeah. Maybe he's promoted to the standard contract. We'll see. But
when you guys asked him what stood out, he goes, he said Cain's
energy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jamal Cain is a Heat player, bro.
He's an NBA player. Yeah, he's an NBA player.
No, not only is he an NBA player, he's a Heat player. Like, he is wired to play for this team, bro. He's tough, fearless. I love that kid, man. I love that kid. Sean and I liked that kid 2 years ago since we saw him at the summer game. And it was like, yo, who is this kid? He got in late, and right from the get-go, he imposed his will. And I love that about players. And that's one thing about Cain. He will impose his will at any point in the game, dude. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he makes you watch him. And also now with Haywood out for at least 2 weeks and maybe more.
Yeah.
He might play a little bit, especially if there's another injury. He might play. Yeah. The other option is Nikola Jovic, right? Which he might play a little more too with Haywood Highsmith out. But Jamal Cain, with what he does, the skill set he has, it's more similar to Haywood Highsmith. So if you're looking for that type of player, Jamal Cain might get some minutes early in the season.
Yeah, no, I would give him minutes. I have no problem. I like the kid, man. I think he can play. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang and catch his work there at the Miami Herald. Anthony, have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball tonight and the football over the weekend, my friend. We will talk on Tuesday.
Yes, should be fun. Have a good weekend, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go, the great Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald, getting it done as always. Our BaptistHealth.net/ortho Miami Heat report. And folks, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back into the game with the help of the All-Pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Heat Report with Anthony Chang is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but CuttersEdgePro.com Does some amazing stuff. And there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. See, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing a personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. foregoing statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We are back, baby. Hour number 2, coming to you live from Homestead, Miami Speedway. Yes, sir, the mobile one, Forever 400 this weekend. So we're going to have some fun. Brendan Poole, by the way, is going to come by and join us later on the show. Safid Dean is going to stop by in this hour, and so is Cameron Wolf. And send the Wolfmeister a reminder because he's on the road. So he was at Jacksonville last night for that game. Was it? No, it was in New Orleans, right? Last night? Yeah, it was in New Orleans. That's right, because the crowd was booing. Booing Derek Carr. Derek Carr was taking a beating yesterday. When will the Tua hate stop? My goodness, I'm trying to remember what other QB has had this much hate for no reason, and the only other name I could come up with, Tebow. But Tebow couldn't play, though. Tua can. I can't. I don't get it, bro. I just think it's also the people that were wrong. They just won't let it go, dude. They just won't let it go. R. Castell, thank you for the love on the super chat, my man. Appreciate it as always. Remember Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And, of course, you can send in a Bitcoin donation. You know nothing gets us more excited than a Bitcoin donation, which Bitcoin flirting with 30,000 today. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O, do you think the defense is starting to gel? I kind of saw it last week. Until I see it against a really good team, they were crappy teams this last couple weeks. It's not a good measuring stick. This one on Sunday, we'll see. We'll see. This is the one that sends a message to the Eagles. Hey, we see you in the Super Bowl. We can beat you. This one sends a message to the NFL. Hey, the Dolphins. They might be the fastest team. They might put up a lot of numbers, but they went up against a physical bunch and they beat them now. This can send a message to your entire fan base. Guys, we're for real. We're not trying to be good. We're trying to be great. It's my theme that I've been talking about, right? We've been good lots of times. Good with Ricky Williams, good with Jason and Zach, good with Lamar Smith, good with the Wildcat. You've been good. You want to be great. So let's see on Sunday. Then I'll tell you if the defense is gelling, if the defense is starting to turn the corner. If they can make life a little harder on the Eagles, now we're talking. You know? This is a beautiful game right here. This is the one that excites me because this is the one that you could cross the threshold to start saying, hey, guys, we're for real. We're here to compete against the elite. I'm sorry, but I'm a Shula snob. And I grew up with a Dolphins team that could hang and mostly beat the elite. They didn't lose more often than not to the elite. No. They used to beat the elite more than they would lose to them. Got to get back to that. Sunday can start that process. So that's why. Let's go, man. You guys want to be great? These are the kind of games. Beating the Giants in Carolina, that doesn't mean shit. Beating the Patriots, that doesn't mean jack shit. Let's beat the Bills. Let's beat Kansas City. Let's beat the Eagles. These are the games you got to start winning. So it's a beautiful game to send a message to all 3 levels. To your fan base, actually 4 levels. To your fan base, to the Eagles, to the NFL, and guess what? To themselves. They can now look in the mirror and say, we can do this. 3 weeks ago, you lose by 28. You look like frauds. So that's what it's all about, man. Christian Cortez says it's a great video. He's one of the main players that have overcome adversity the most. He's talking about the Tua video, the Tua documentary. That if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, man, God, it is awesome. Ricardo Cuchican, impossible not to have Tua's back after watching his documentary. Amen to that, dude. A freaking men to that. Okay. Football is the ultimate team sport, but media focuses on individual stars. It takes everybody on the team working together to be successful, not just one player. And football, more than anything, you got to know it's that. The system feeds off of Tua. Tua feeds off the system. It's a match made in heaven, and that's what makes Tua that much better than he already is. Exactly. Exactly. True Fin says, anyone can succeed in this system, huh? Name them. I call bullshit on that. Exactly. Jalen Hurts can't play in this system. Yes, sir.
No, I was going to say, I mean, one pass from Mike White went the other way, 6 points. I mean, not saying Mike White is Hurts or anybody else, but it just goes to show you. And then look at the guys that have been put in the system.
Chris Perkins,
they don't do what Tua's done.
Chris Perkins was like, well, how important is the system? How important is, if you're playing without Tyreek, how good will Tua be? And then I retweeted back to him. I said, by the way, Tyreek and Waddle did not score a touchdown without Tua at quarterback last year. So there were other quarterbacks. Why didn't they throw touchdowns? Not anybody. That's just ridiculous. Big O, don't know if you've heard this one, but I think I got the perfect name for the Dolphins offense once they've earned it. The Miami Speed Machine. Off of the Miami Sound Machine. I like that. So we've got the greatest show on surf, which I love that. And the Miami Speed Machine. Weird Science is still I got to say, Weird Science is my favorite. It's like one of the guys, I think it was Dougie Fresh. He says, I can see McDaniel and his assistant coaches wearing bras and creating the game plan and all that. Weird Science. I mean, yeah. We could ask Cam, but something tells me Cam has not seen Weird Science. You say he has. All right. What say you? Over 200 right now on the chat board. Has Cam Wolf seen Weird Science? What do you guys say? While we unleash the wolf pack here and play the open, what do you all say right now? Has Cameron Wolf seen the movie Weird Science? I say no. Because he didn't see Fast Times at Richmond High. And then when he saw it, it was kind of outdated for him and all that. So it wasn't like a relatable movie for him. So I think that the John Hughes run there, Pretty in Pink and all that, I think he's going to stay away from that stuff. I think it's too old for him. He's too young for all that stuff. There's a bunch of no's, no shot, too young. There's a yes. There's 2 yeses. All right, here we go. We unleash the wolf pack.
We unleash the wolf pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
No chance, right? Right, Cam? No shot you've seen Weird Science.
What movie?
Weird Science.
Oh, not a chance. What was that movie? I'm riding in an Uber. My Uber driver said he's seen it.
Of course. Normal human beings have seen it. You're not normal.
What year was this movie made?
In the 80s.
Oh, no chance.
It's Anthony Michael Hall.
My
And
Uber driver said Sean Young is in that movie. I don't know who
yes, Sean Young is in that movie. What's her name? The one with the lips. She's gorgeous. God, smoking hot. Anyways, it's two kids.
Is that Sean Young?
No, not Sean Young. It's not Sean Young. It's oh God, come on, somebody help me on the chat board. Let's go. No, it's not Angelina Jolie. She does have great lips. She does have some of the best lips out there. Kelly LeBrock, thank you. Jesus Christ, Kelly LeBrock. So anyway, it's two kids. The house is left to them, and they want to create the perfect woman. So they get on a computer and they have bras on and everything, and it's adolescents. They're teenagers, and they come up with the perfect woman, and it's Kelly LeBrock, and she's gorgeous and smoking hot. And then there's this crazy party scene for the next hour in the house, and it's funny. There it is. Yeah. So we can imagine Mike McDaniel and his staff creating the game plan and Weird Science, because the offense is kind of weird science to everybody, and people are copying it. So the nickname Weird Science is now coming up with Greatest Show on Surf and all those other things for the Miami offense. So now you have homework. You've got to watch Weird Science now.
So my thing is, you had me watch Fast Times at Ridgemont
High. Yeah.
And my thing with these movies are, do they age well? Because the reality is, I was not born in 1985. No, I do not know the culture of 1985.
Right.
And so usually movies before the 1990s are no-goes for me. And so is this going to be another movie that I watched that was good back in the day, but in this current day does not hit?
Do you like Home Alone?
Home Alone?
Yes.
Yes. Home Alone was a solid movie. That was right the early. Those are some of the earliest movies.
This is Home Alone. This is Home Alone with teenagers.
Home Alone with teenagers. Okay.
Okay. And have you watched Mad Max?
No.
You never watched Mad Max, Thunderdome, any of the Mad Max movies? Well, some of the Mad Max characters will come back in there, and so it's kind of like it's actually funny. It's like a Home Alone, but it's like kids that want to have a party in their house while the parents are gone. That kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Did you ever see Risky Business?
Is it funny for a 12-year-old watching in the 80s and 90s, or is it funny for me now in 2023?
It's funny for a teenager watching it, probably. Gotcha. And maybe a man that refuses to grow up.
Okay.
That's me, by the way. Just in case, just so you know. So I got
some kid in me. I'm willing to give it a shot. I will give it a shot.
Well, you have to give it.
I tried to give Fast Time at Richmond High.
No, that one doesn't fly. That one doesn't fly as much because the culture was different of that movie. This one, I think you will give it a chance because it's kind of fun. It's kid stuff.
I'll give it a shot.
Silliness.
I will put it on my list. I got to figure out where I can find it. It was 1985. I mean, it's not going to be on Netflix, and so I'm gonna have to search.
No. Oh no, you're wrong. Oh, you're wrong. Oh, you're wrong. It'll probably be on Netflix or what's the other one?
Hulu.
Amazon. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I have Amazon Prime. I have Hulu and Netflix.
It has to be, bro. It has to be. Weird Science is one of the It's on Hulu, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV.
Oh yeah.
And even YouTube regular. Yeah. So there you go. It's on Amazon.
Here's what I'll do then. I've got a 2-hour flight back to Miami. If I can get it on Hulu and download it, maybe that's what I'll watch on the way over. I was going to start Suits because that's another show I haven't seen.
I love Suits.
A lot of people tell me about it. So I was going to start Suits on the plane, but maybe I will watch Weird Science because you say it's hidden.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes of fun. You'll and plus the whole Mike McDaniel Weird Science thing.
Okay.
Patrick Downey Jr. is there. Rock, Anthony Michael Hall. I mean, there's a lot of famous actors in that movie. Actually, after you're like, wow, I know them, I know her, I know him, and all that. You're gonna go, wow, okay. But it's kind of a fun movie. I gotta say. And by the way, watching the Weird Science offense and then you watch the rest of the NFL. Boy, you get spoiled as a Dolphins fan now, dude.
Absolutely, it's a competitive advantage, like coaching and scheme, and the way that Mike maximizes his guys is literally competitive advantage. Like I was here watching the Jaguars Saints last night, and I'll tell you what, the Saints offense needs some weird signs or whatever Mike McDaniel is doing, whatever they need a lot of weird signs because man, I almost fell asleep watching that Saints offense last night. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know
there's not a lot of imaginative. There's not a lot of motion. I think they're worse in the league in motion, play action. It felt like a different league of football. Like I felt like I was just watching a different sport than the Dolphins do on a given Sunday.
Dude, Patriots, Jets, Atlanta, Tennessee, the Raiders. I mean, I could go on and on.
There's a lot of bad offensive football going on.
Yeah, dude, Arizona.
Like,
I mean,
people are calling it great defensive football, and maybe the defense is playing better, but it just seems like there's a offensive dip this year, and really one of the few anomalies is the Dolphins. You know, the 49ers have been playing pretty solid. They play a little different style than the Dolphins. They run a lot of motion, but it's more of a power motion running style game where the Dolphins is more speed oriented. The Eagles don't run motion much, but they have a little bit of excitement because of how they do their scheme. And Detroit's been pretty exciting as well. But other than that, there hasn't been a lot of like offenses that I like get excited about. And so there's a dip in the league, and Mike McDaniel is taking advantage of it. And I definitely think it is a competitive advantage that he is doing things that other coaches don't. In fact, like Nick Sirianni, we were talking about the Eagles. Nick Sirianni, I heard him talk earlier this week and said they took some plays from the Dolphins scheme last year and used it in their scheme. That's not something that's unique. Kyle Shanahan mentioned he took the exit motion they do with Tyreek and put it in his scheme earlier this year. The Rams did as well. And so when you're creating an offense that's innovative enough that people have to steal your ideas and plays, that should tell you that you are the forward-thinking coach that maybe the rest of the league should be trying to emulate.
Have you seen Tua Tagovailoa, a prophecy in the making?
Have I seen? I mean, I've always believed in him, so it's not really a prophecy for me. But I will say,
have you watched the special? Have you watched the 50-minute special?
Oh no!
Dude, scratch weird science. Watch that after you watch. You need to watch. You need
give me a lot of homework on the weekend, Big O.
No. Cam. It's 50 of the best minutes of your life of TV watching you will ever have, my brother. Okay, it's video of him.
Prophecy in the making.
It's called Tua Tagovailoa, a prophecy in the making, my brother.
Gotcha.
They have video of him from all the way in high school, from when he was a kid with his dad, all the way through high school, Elite 11s, getting injured with his hip at Alabama, the draft, the whole process. You need to, I have goosebumps right now. You need to watch this, okay? Once you watch this and you watch how he has dominated every level, how he has overcome everything, how, I'll give this away. On the day before the championship game that he was not playing, he told his parents, he goes, if I get a shot tomorrow night, our name will be known all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to watch this. It shows Trent Dilfer ripping into his ass in Elite 11s, telling him you're undisciplined. And then he goes and they show you the video of him working out all the things that Trent told him to work on, and he comes back and he dominates Elite 11. He's number one.
Okay.
And it just, brother, you need to watch this. It'll make you cry. It'll make you cry. You'll get emotional. You'll
make you cry. That's a bold statement. I don't cry very often, Big O.
Well, I'm 57 now. I seem to be crying a little bit more when I watch stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's my older age. I cried a couple times. I gotta say, the bond of the family and everything, it got to me. That like Dude, I'm telling you, it's 52, 53 of the greatest minutes of TV that you will ever spend in your life. It's something that you'll want your kids to watch. It's something that you'll want a family member to watch. Somebody else that you love. You'll want to watch. You want them to watch it because it's a great influence on human beings, on people that have to overcome everything, on who Tua is, on who his family is. I mean, it is effing phenomenal, dude. Okay? Effing phenomenal. Professionally done. It is awesome. I'm telling you. And then it leads me to this whole silliness that we've got going on. Well, if we get somebody else and put them in the system, they'll do the same thing Tua's doing. And that is some of the dumbest shit out there, bro. I mean, really. That's the part that I just don't get.
All right, so no more movies to give me because you've already filled up the list more than
I'm done.
I'm done. Give. But I will check this out. You said it's is it on Netflix or YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Okay. Right on YouTube. It's made on you. You can see it right on YouTube.
I will check it out. On your question about Tua, I think that Joe Shad was trying to get Mike.
Oh no. Joe was nothing. That's wrong. People were picking on Joe for nothing. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the screaming A's and the other idiots that actually think you really can. Joe was asking on behalf of the idiots like Screaming A and others. Yeah. I defended Joe yesterday. I was his left tackle. Joe's fine, and so is Chris Perkins, by the way. People are picking on Chris because of the Tyreek thing, brother. Randy Moss and Tom Brady were MVP candidates. Mahomes and Kelsey, you could call them MVP candidates. This isn't the first time that a quarterback and a receiver are MVP candidates. I'm sure Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith were MVP candidates. Montana and Rice. Bro, I've been around forever. This is nothing new. This is actually a compliment to the Dolphins that they have two players that could be in the MVP conversation. So I defend Chris Perkins and I defend Joe Shad, but I don't defend Screaming A.
I would say that Tyreek Hill is definitely in the top 3 of the MVP race, but I said it on NFL Network last week. If I think he's already up in the top of the running, but if Tua and the Dolphins beat the Eagles this weekend in Philly, then I think that Tua would be the clear-cut, overwhelming favorite for MVP through Week 7. Because really the only thing missing on his ledger for his MVP campaign, kind of like the Heisman, what is your signature moment? What is your signature win? And for him, a win over the Eagles in Philly over Jalen Hurts, his former teammate, and that elite defensive line in a rowdy environment, that would be his signature moment. That would be his elite win. And I think that's the one thing. And he's got an opportunity. Like if he doesn't win it this week, Kansas City might be another opportunity. But this is an opportunity, I think, for him to push forward. And so that's why I think that. And the reality is Tyreek's at an uphill climb because it's a quarterback award. You know, like it or not, it's a quarterback award because the quarterback's the most valuable player on the team. Like that's simply like by name of the award, the most valuable player is almost always your quarterback. Like if you look in the betting odds, if you see a quarterback out, that's what changes betting odds 2, 3, 4 points. Tyreek's out, it might change the line 1 point. You know, it's just kind of that's how they show value. That's how we see it. And I mentioned this also at Network. Like I think people underestimate how complex the Mike McDaniel offense is and how much responsibility is on the quarterback. When they say, hey, you can pop any quarterback in that scheme, you don't know how much of the anticipation and the timing that Tua has that makes the offense go. How much the fact that his comfort and being able to get the motion to go at the right tick of time makes it function in the way it does. The fact that he can make reads and throw to spots before guys are even open. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that can do it the way he is. And I remember when people laughed at Tyreek, when he first signed here, saying that Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the league. I think if you look at the league right now, I think that you can make the really strong argument that Tyreek is right. That Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the league. Like, maybe he's not the most talented. Maybe he's not the overall best because Mahomes is going to have that. But the most accurate, and that is the skill set that I think helps him excel his anticipation, his timing, his accuracy. He's excelled at that. He's made the right decisions at all times, and he's leading the number one offense at a historic pace. That's the quarterback, and that's the MVP. Like, to me, there's no other situation in time where you look at the scenario I just laid out and say, there's another reason. It's mainly because of the coach, or it's mainly because they've got a receiver that's doing these sort of things. I think that all those things are important factors. Tyreek helps, yes, completely. But, Tyreek has been better with Tua as his quarterback than he was in Kansas City. And so if you really wanted to get in the nitty-gritty, you can make an argument that Tua's made Tyreek better just as much as Tyreek has made Tua better. And Mike McDaniel obviously has had a huge impact on Tua's confidence. The scheme is tremendous. He is next level with all of this, but he doesn't play. Tua's the player. Like I understand the coach has a huge factor in this. But at the end of the day, when the snap is snapped, the quarterback's got to make the throws. The quarterback's got to make decisions. The quarterback's got to get the flow of the timing. And that's what Tua's done really well. And so that's why I am firmly on the Tua. If he continues this pace, if he gets a signature win, and if he stays healthy, should be the NFL MVP.
By the way, when you watch A Prophecy in the Making on the plane, watch the anticipatory throw he makes in the championship game. That is freaking just stupidly sick. Okay? And it's a throw that 99.8% of the players that have played that position, the history of college football, can't make that throw. Okay?
Right.
When that throw happens,
I'll check
you're
it out.
You're gonna go. That's the throw O was talking about.
I'll check it out. And I always think back to the quote that Brian Daboll said, I think in college, where he's like, "Hey, most quarterbacks can hit a door from 30, 40, 50 yards out. The great quarterbacks can hit the doorknob, right? Tua can hit the keyhole inside the doorknob, right? And I think of that quote when I think of Tua and just the precision of the accuracy. That's his superpower. He's not going to throw the ball 70 yards like Justin Herbert. That's just okay. That's okay. He has a different superpower. Hulk has super strength. That doesn't mean that he's the best superhero, right? Other superheroes got different powers, and you can succeed in different ways. And I've seen this offense without Tua, and it's a drastically different offense. I've seen Teddy Bridgewater in this offense. I've seen
no touchdowns for Tyreek or Waddle. Yes. They didn't score a touchdown without Tua last year.
Yeah, and so I think that people vastly underestimate Tua and the impact he has on this offense. And I would say that I look at valuable player like this. If you had to lose one player, if you had to choose a player that you least like to lose for the rest of the season, I would much rather not lose Tua than not lose Tyreek.
Yes. Trust me. We've been here since Marino for 25 years.
Right. Like I'll tell you this. If you lose Tua, you're screwed. This team, you're screwed.
It's over.
You're screwed. I'm not saying they're going to be the worst team in the league, but I don't think that you have any hope of, maybe the record maybe the early record start makes you hold on and maybe still can figure out a wild card spot, but you're not doing anything with it, right? You lose Tyreek. Yes, maybe it caps your ceiling. Maybe you're not a Super Bowl team anymore, but you're still going to be a contender. You still have Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle starts to do some of the Tyreek elements, and you adjust. You have some of the other receivers do it, and you figure it out. Tua is the most irreplaceable player on this team right
now. Have a safe travel. Watch it. You will thank me, my friend. You will thank me. I'm telling you. Great watch. You're gonna really enjoy. Drop me a text when you land.
Okay.
Whether you liked it or not. Okay.
I'm not sure if I can download YouTube on the plane, but I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you'll love it, man. I'm telling you, it is must-see TV. Safe travels, my friend. We'll catch up next week.
All right, appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. That is Cameron Wolf with our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
There we go. I need one of those in orange, bro. That's actually pretty good. There he is. He popped in. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins. Safid Dean is ready to go with our baptisthealth.net/ortho. Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get the latest from the Aqua and Orange with our Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins report with USA Today insider Safid Dean. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at baptisthealth.net. Here's Safid Dean.
All right, we are back, baby. Safid, how you feeling today? You feeling good?
Yeah, Big O, how you doing, man?
Good. I want to ask you if you've done this because I've been waiting a few days to talk a little bit about it, and I have to talk about it now with all the crap that's being thrown out there. And it's not by Joe Shad, by the way. A prophecy in the making for Tua Tagovailoa. Have you seen it on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
Ooh, wow!
Prophecy in the making. What's that, like a documentary?
Yes. and they have, dude. They have. But it's all him and his family, everything. And they have all the footage of him from high school, even as a kid, all the way through the Elite 11s, Alabama, the hip injury, the draft, all of it. And it is must-see TV, okay? It is emotional. I even cried a little bit a couple times because the family bond and everything is – you know, I as I've gotten older, as I'm 57, I think you get a little bit more emotional, you know, as you get older. And I guess because I was more of a cold sumbitch 20, 30 years ago, and when I could watch anything and never, but now it's like things get to me at times. And
sure,
you know, I gotta say I watered up a couple times in that because it's just a beautiful film, dude. It's just amazing. And then to watch him dominate every level that he's been at, and to watch how he's been challenged and how it's been set back and how he went through the grueling, process to rehab himself, the ankle injury, all the other things that he had to go through. Dude, I'll give something away because I've given it away a couple times. They have it there on film. He told his parents the night before the national championship game, he's not playing the game. Jalen Hurts is starting the game.
Yeah.
They're telling him maybe we'll create a little package for you to, throw a couple because he was killing Jalen Hurts in practice. Every day he was the better quarterback, and they knew it. And so he told his parents the night before the national championship game, he said, if I play tomorrow, I will make a name for ourselves, and our name will be known all over the world.
Well, sure enough, he did it, right? He called his shot.
He called his shot, dude.
Yeah, that's even better than like Reggie Jackson pointing the bat out to outfield. You know what I'm saying?
That is some shit, dude. Like, you got to watch this.
Yeah.
You got to watch Trent Dilfer ripping into his ass in Elite 11s, saying that you're undisciplined. And then they show the film of Trent tells his parents and his dad, who's his coach, all the things he has to work on. Goes and works to show the film. He comes back. He's number one in Elite 11.
Yeah.
Kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
He after you watch that and then you hear all this silliness that if you get somebody else and put them in the system, they can. No, they can't do. Yeah. And I want you to watch the anticipatory throw he makes in the national championship game. They show it in that documentary. That's a throw that most NFL 27, 28 of the NFL quarterbacks can't make that throw. Okay? 99.8% of the college quarterbacks in the history of college can't make that throw. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, it is when you're done with me, if you have 52 minutes to spare, brother, you're going to thank me. You're going to go, bro, that was the best 52 minutes I've spent watching television in a long time.
I will text you immediately after and tell you if I cried or not.
Well, but I know you're going to love it. I don't know if you're going to
I
cry.
will watch it. Yeah, no, I will watch it.
Maybe
Look,
it's amazing, bro. It's amazing.
Tua, his work ethic, it should be unquestioned at this point. And I think the questions that everybody has around him are very valid. It's sad because people still see year 1, year 2 Tua and look at year 4 Tua in the same light. Tua has the most passing yards, most touch, best passer rating. He's 5-1. He's the clear MVP, right? And he's still getting the national attention that he's always gotten. Positive or negative, because it's just Tua. It's so easy to kind of cover him or speak about him in the media because he is so polarizing, right? You say his arm is too weak, and what does he do? He's making long passes now. You can say he throws a 2-3 yard dump pass and it goes 40 yards. Yeah, sure. I mean, literally, Trevor Lawrence did that last night for the game-winning touchdown that they had last night too with Christian Kirk, right? He's not the only quarterback doing that. You talk about Tua being a dink and dunk quarterback, short passes, everything like that. I don't know if you know, but the whole NFL, look at your fantasy teams and you're wondering why your players are not scoring touchdowns. The whole NFL is like that right now, okay? Everybody's dinking and dunking, from Herbert to Patrick Mahomes. Literally the whole reason the league is dinking and dunking is because of Patrick Mahomes. And Tua is playing at that game at a high level too. Mike McDaniel was very, very great in his quote when asked by Joe Shad. Obviously, Joe Shad and the Dolphins beat writers, they all have a group chat. I'm not in the group chat. I can't stand group chats, so I'll pull myself out of them. But I can understand where this conversation stems from, because it's one we've been having with Dolphins writers, and it's one that we've been having as a group nationally everywhere. And fan bases since Tua was drafted ahead of Herbert, 5 and 6 in 2020, right? Tua's done a lot for himself, and this season he is, 1, not injured, knock on wood, and 2, playing the best he's ever played in his life. Right. And 3, he reminds me of Alabama Tua, where he had all those weapons, and it's crazy to see how Tua has transformed himself and how Tua has done really well for himself here. I go back to this interview I had with Tua. Me and a couple other writers were, at Uncle Luke's high school, where Tua was doing a Gatorade promotion with them and working out with some kids. I looked Tua right in his face and I said, Tua, your life changed when you threw that pass at Alabama. Like he said in that documentary, right? His life changed. He was not ready for it overnight. He became an overnight sensation. His season going into Alabama before the hip injury was probably the highest anticipated season of any quarterback in college football history, right? You look at the hip injury and how crazy that was, because it's a career ender for most people, right? Like we literally looked up Bo Jackson's injury and said, Bo didn't come back from this. How is Tua going to do it? He broke his, and now he's playing in the NFL 4 years later and balling out and could potentially win MVP this season.
By the way, they explain the entire process of how they went about to repair the hip.
Yeah. I'll check that out too. It's
really good, man. It's just,
yeah. Tua also had another documentary by Fox.
Yeah, I saw
I saw that one too. But the thing that stuck out to me in that one is Tua's literally watching First Take and listening to all the things people are saying right before the draft, and he's going absolutely nuts because he can't control what other people are saying about him, one, and also he has to deal with the rehab process of all of this, right? Tua's gotten so much stronger and so much more healthier as the seasons have progressed here in the NFL. None more than this past offseason, because he obviously had the concussions to deal with, right? But otherwise, physically, he was okay. There was no ankle, there was no hip, there was no hand injury for him to deal with. It was just all in learning how to fall properly and learning how to take hits so he doesn't, so he could pop back up and he's not falling and hitting his head, the back of his head on the field. So look, Tua deserves a lot of credit, man. Nobody's probably improved more than him. If you look at this season as a whole, Mahomes obviously has some issues with the receivers, right? They don't have a standout receiver like Juju Smith-Schuster or anybody like that. After Tyreek left, it's just Kelsey and him and everybody else. Joe Burrow has a calf injury that it's taken him a while to come back from. I don't even know if Burrow's back to 100%, but the Bengals
will
turn a corner at some point, right?
He's getting there now. If
Herbert,
you watch the last 2 weeks, he's getting there now.
Yeah, and so Herbert has regressed, like we've spoken about, because they have a new offense, and he's made some poor plays in every game he's played this season. And you look at the quarterback thing. We looked at Herbert and Burrow so far ahead, year one, year two. We look how far Josh Allen was ahead as well too. Tua's right in the mix with all those guys right now, right? And he's an MVP candidate. He is the clear-cut MVP right now after 6 weeks, right? There's no Brock Purdy. There's no Mahomes. There's no Burrow. There's no Herbert. There's no Josh Allen. There's Tua. Like, I don't know. Who would you put second? Maybe McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill? Like, I don't even know if you in that conversation.
Yeah. That might be those guys that I put second. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's always been a quarterback award.
Yeah.
So who's the next quarterback that's going to step up? Lamar was having an all right season, I guess, but
no, he's
not. His
passing isn't anything out of this world.
Who's the next quarterback in that list, right? Like Tua has an MVP right now, but he's got to play well. I mean, after the Bills game, it wasn't his for sure. But Tua's played very, very well this season, man. And a lot of people need to get off his back. They have to figure out their all-in bets of him and his arm strength, and just really come to terms with the fact that he's a changed player, and actually watch him play, right? Watch him play and watch how he orchestrates this offense. Look at this offense, right? Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan, how many other quarterbacks and receivers and all these people that they've had, and it just hasn't looked how it looks right now. Like, the closest thing I can think of is maybe Atlanta with Matt Ryan when they went to the Super Bowl that year. That literally was like Matt Ryan and how he did the best season of his career in the same offense, right? And all those players that kind of were in Atlanta at that time, they haven't done it since. I mean, they had Johnny Manziel in Cleveland. They were in Washington with I believe maybe Kirk Cousins, I think. Like other teams, other times this offense has been run by other people. You can even put Jimmy G and Brock Purdy in the mix there too, right? Because it's kind of the same offense.
I just brought it up an hour ago. So what happens with Jimmy G and what is it? Emmanuel was the receiver. So what happens on that game-winning throw that Jimmy G screwed up? What do you think happens if Tua's the one throwing that pass? Do you think San Francisco is winning the Super Bowl? Do you think if it's Tua and not Jimmy Garoppolo that day for the San Francisco 49ers, do you think the San Francisco 49ers probably easily win the Super Bowl?
Well, it's Tua now, yes. Tua then, probably not.
Oh, I think Tua then, now, anytime, better than.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because he would have had an actual offense.
I could play you the video at the end of the 2020 season. Mm-hmm. And while all of you out there were complaining and criticizing, I called his season excellent. You know why I called his season excellent? Because my problem with Dolphin quarterbacks for many, many years is they couldn't operate under chaos. Well, all he did for 2 years was operate under chaos. He won more than he lost. He threw more touchdowns than interceptions. He can only do what he can do with the limited things that he had around him, but yet he still won more than he lost, even without no coaching and no support. So imagine when you do give him support. Oh my God, what do you think can happen? Oh, maybe you can win a national championship. Maybe you can be an MVP in the NFL. Maybe you can go to the playoffs. What a difference. And so that's where my problem the first 2 years was everything around him. I knew he wasn't the problem. Everything around him was broken.
Yes.
Not him.
Yes. Look at some of the worst Dolphins O-lines in history, right? Probably in 19, 20, 21?
Yes.
You look at how much the O-line has improved, and that's coaching, along with players really stepping into year 3 or 4 of their careers. You look at the receivers. I mean, literally, it's only Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. That was it. Getting Jalen Waddle, who broke the completion record as a rookie.
You made him a possession receiver, bro. You made Jalen Waddle a possession receiver.
It was criminal how they used Jalen Waddle. I literally tweeted this, that we have people who drive like a Maxima, like don't know how to use the Ferrari. Right? Like, that's literally what I said. Like, Jalen Waddle was a possession receiver, barely got 4 yards down the field for any pass, but he broke the completions record and Anquan Bolden's record, right, as a rookie, because Tua was the only one. He was the only one that Tua really trusted to throw the ball to. Then you go and get him a Hall of Famer in Tyreek Hill, like I said, no, we will never see a player like Tyreek Hill ever again in NFL history, right? His size, his speed, his strength, like him and Antonio Brown are so unique in how they're just able to dominate the football when it's in their hands, right? Look, Chris Greer finally built a team around Tua. He's got a coach in Mike McDaniel who bought into Tua and is giving Tua everything that he needs to be successful, from confidence to a great play to a great scheme. And they've repped this so many times since April, since last season, going back to it too, to be as successful as they have been, man. And, hopefully Tua on Sunday night, hopefully he stays healthy, knock on wood, first of all. And most of all, too, hopefully he has a good showing, man, because the Dolphins and Tua, the monkey's still on their back, man.
Yeah,
and it's up to them to get him off, get the monkey off of it.
Yeah, it's what my theme has been. They've been good many times. They were good last year. Do you want to be great?
Yeah.
These are the moments, dude. You want to be great? That's the only way you're going to win a Super Bowl. That's the only way you're going to beat Kansas City and Buffalo and Philadelphia. If you run into them in the Super Bowl, you got to start winning these kind of games. And so that'll be interesting this Sunday night. If they're ready for greatness, are they ready to take that next step?
Yeah.
Because we know they're good. Can you be great is the question.
Is this game and the Chiefs game? Because, the Dolphins and outside of the Jets game later on this year, the first Jets game, but the Dolphins have to either prove they're going to beat up on the bad teams and have a really high record, or they can actually compete with a good team, because they didn't show well against the Bills. They have to show well against the Eagles and Chiefs to really know what we have here, and to see how deep they could potentially really go in the postseason.
All right. I said to hold out Claypool last week and bring him out here. Do you think there's going to be a little package for Chase against the Eagles on Sunday?
The Eagles. Yeah, it would be great to see Chase Claypool get a ball or two in this game. I could see. I mean, the thing is, you don't want Tua kind of forcing it. Tua has forced Jalen Waddle's involvement in the last two games, and deservedly so. I mean, Tyreek is getting the bulk of everything, but you got to keep Waddle happy. So he's had 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, I believe. But it has felt like they have forced some passes his way. Remember that pick six against the Giants? That was a ball forced to forced to Waddle in like double or triple coverage, I think. So it's got to be important to see what kind of package that you do put in this game for Claypool. Like I said, it could be a running play like Deebo Samuel, and that's a big dude, right? I got a glimpse of Chase Claypool in the locker room this week, and I'm talking to Perk, and I'm like, man, this guy's jump shot got to be really bad if he's playing football. He looks like a small forward, man. He's big. He's stocky. That's a dude I would like to run between the tackles if I can have a play for him. And, we'll see how much he does as a receiver and how much he will play. But the Dolphins got a good thing going offensively already.
Yeah, some of the stuff they used to do with Devontae Parker, they can do with him. So, make it nice and easy. A couple fades down the sideline, red zone.
Yeah, definitely.
50-50 balls that are really more 70-30 for him. That makes Tua's life so much easier, bro, because he just doesn't have a guy that can high point like that.
Yeah.
That's when you were talking about Tyreek, and we'll never see another guy like that. And I'm thinking, I'm going through Dolphin history, and I'm thinking Mark Clayton is the only thing that comes close. The thing is, Tyreek is faster than Mark Clayton. Clayton, the only thing he would have on Tyreek is in the air. Mark Clayton was like a sick athlete. This guy used to squat 500 pounds, by the way, Mark Clayton. And so he could dunk and all that kind of stuff. His body control in the air was absolutely phenomenal. He was like a 5'10 guy or something like that, 5'11, but he could jump, I don't know, bro, 40 inches or something. It was just he was a stupid athlete. I mean, really just sick. But Tyreek is definitely at another level speed-wise.
Mm-hmm.
With Clayton, I would only give him an edge on Tyreek in the air. That's the only thing that I would give him, because he was a monster in the air.
And we haven't seen really Tyreek kind of go up for a jump ball yet.
Last year, that one that he went and did, that he one-handed and brought it back down. Remember that?
Yeah, he's capable of that. So is Waddle. Waddle's very capable of that too. Waddle's 5'11", barely 6 foot, but he could dunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like you're going up 10 feet, like you got ups. And Waddle has some really great body control too, because there's a couple times when Tua has to throw a Waddle, he knows he can throw it up and Waddle can go up and go get it. But like you said, and like I've said, since the offseason, since training camp, they needed a jump ball guy. So I'm glad they finally went and got one in Claypool, and we'll see if they can really get those plays in, because remember we spoke about the Baltimore game, how Gesicki caught that jump pass in the end zone. That was like the there was probably 21 at that point, but that was the beginning of the comeback with Gesicki in that end zone, and then you just lit it up with Tua and Waddle the rest of the game that way. So by having a jump ball guy is really important for this offense.
So does Connor play? What's your gut say?
I would hope so. I mean, Connor has to play. That's kind of the big thing there. He was limited today with the groin. I can see them try to nurse it as much as possible. This is a tough game to gauge injury-wise because it's not the Panthers or the Giants. It's not an opponent where you're like, maybe I can save a guy for next week. This is the week.
Rest him next week, bro. Give him New England off. Let Liam handle New England.
Yeah.
Back for Kansas City.
Yeah, you just really hope that you're not messing with Connor's progression, because if he's in and out, then you have the Chiefs game the week after. Do you do it again? That's the center is not. It's not a position I would mess with, especially the player. The type of blocking and everything that Connor offers you, and the stability that he's provided the last 2 seasons.
I'm just trying to pace him if he's injured. You're trying to. You definitely. I mean, this is the game. His kind of blocking, you really need it for this matchup, bro.
Yeah, that D line is crazy. You need Connor Williams in that game. You need Alec Ingold, who's limited with a foot injury, to do some blocking, right? The good part, when I look at the injury report, Jalen Phillips is full practice this week already. I know Vic Fangio said he might be on a little bit of a pitch count in this Eagles game, but Jalen Phillips has to get home in this Eagles game if they're going to have a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the back end. Like, I'm not sure about Jeff Wilson. Maybe he comes back. Van Ginkel didn't practice yesterday, but I know he's dealing with some family things right now. So he'll be okay for Sunday.
Yeah, he's fine. And I saw the tweet from the wife, and obviously any of us that are parents, that's the thing, and that's the kind of stuff you never want to have to deal with. So
and by the way, the Van Ginkel family, Andrew and his wife Samantha, great people, salt of the earth.
Yeah, I'm happy, dude. I've been a Van Ginkel guy from the get-go, so I am super happy that
really great people
finally giving him a chance, because he really needs it. Who else should we expect to come back?
Let me look at this injury report real quick. Not Jalen Ramsey. I'd say that much. And X, you're worried about X. You're worried about the groin injury right now.
Yeah.
Kohu has a neck injury that's kept him limited, but when I saw him in the locker room this week, he looked all right. So I'm worried about the secondary. I'm worried about X and how they're going to do in the passing game. But this is the one where the D-line has to step up. Hopefully Fangio has something for Jalen Hurts. And hopefully the guys really do well reading and reacting, because I think Jalen Hurts could definitely run a little bit in this game.
Raekwon Davis is not working on a new contract with the Miami Dolphins, right? The way he's playing, does it look like he would re-sign him? No, seriously.
I'm unsure at this point, but also Raekwon kind of has a role that he plays where he kind of just clogs his area, and doesn't really go after the quarterback or push back as much. So I'm interested to see, because that kind of play doesn't lead to real, numbers. But Raekwon's kind of in a situation where he's either got to determine if he's going to make some numbers and make some big plays, or are you just another guy kind of with a really big physique? So, I'm kind of worried about Raekwon in that sense. But he is, his body really well. For him to be out there as much as he is great too. And also Zealer's emergence doesn't help either.
Let me run this. Have you been more impressed with Raekwon or Hand?
I haven't really watched much of Hand to be impressed.
Well, I'm gonna say that
you might be impressed more with Hand.
Yeah, and he plays less.
For me,
sense.
For me, Zach Sealer obviously clouds that because he's on the field a little bit more, or he's in the rotation a lot more.
He's terrific.
And Wilkins has to continue to step it up as well. He has 2 good games, best 2 games he's coming off of, but he's got to really make some things shake against the Eagles O-line. This is the best O-line in the league. So if Wilkins is nowhere to be found, it's going to be hard for contract negotiations and the things like that later on this offseason too.
What's the prediction? Who wins?
Dolphins 26, Eagles 23 is my prediction. I think it's going to be really, really close. I said this in a video with USA Today this week. I think the Dolphins are number 1 offense, nearly 500 yards. Eagles are number 2 with nearly 400 yards. We're not going to see some big shootout, in my opinion. I think some defense is going to be played in this game. But I think the Dolphins are going to have a big play at the end of the game to win it. And hopefully it's Tua to Tyreek or Tua to Waddle. But yeah, that's my prediction. 26-23. And we will be singing the Dolphins' praises on Sunday night together, post-game on the Big O Show.
I love it. All right, follow him on Twitter at Safid_Dean and catch his exceptional work there at the USA Today and his own podcast that he's got going on there with the USA Today. Safid,
it's a football podcast. It's a football podcast. Check it out.
It's a football podcast. Make sure you subscribe and check it out. Safid, thank you as always, my friend. We will catch up on Sunday night, late Sunday night.
Appreciate you, Big O. We'll watch Messi on Saturday, too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He is playing Saturday.
This guy is back, bro. He's back, and he came back at the worst time.
I know. It was funny that he's sitting there on Wednesday night just watching the game, which I was actually surprised that he had just gotten back so quickly from that game, and he was in the stands, sitting there watching it. And by the way, kudos to the team. They hustled to make it to tie the game. And even Robbie Robinson got a goal, which is, Robbie's been such a huge disappointment for the team since he's been selected.
Yeah.
So, it kind of sucks, man, that we're not going to get any postseason Messi.
It does. It really does. They're going to go in China the first week of November, which is crazy. I watched Messi playing for Argentina against Peru on Tuesday night. That was like a 10 p.m. Night game. This guy's back to normal, man. Scored 2 goals, knocked off the rust, played all 93 minutes. So it was a real health concern that he had all of the last month, which, caused him to miss games in Atlanta, Chicago, Orlando, here with Inter Miami and Fort Lauderdale. But we'll see, man. It's a big year next year. And we already got it. The Leagues Cup trophy that whole run was spectacular. So we'll see how it happens next year.
Now they have the experience. Now they'll pace it a little bit more for next year to make sure pace and space. That's what they'll do a little bit more with him, because there's no way that he's going to be able to be in every game of all the different things that are going on. And it's like so many have mentioned, the problem is the MLS has their season in the wrong time. They should be playing soccer with the rest of the world, but unfortunately, we have the NFL during that time, and you just don't want to compete against that monster. So it just creates schedule-wise a real mess for them to play the MLS season and all these other tournaments and everything else, dude. It's a mess. What are you going to do? It is what it is. All right, Safid, have a great weekend. We'll catch up on Sunday night. Oh, he froze. All right, he's out. Hour number 3 from Homestead Miami Speedway. Next.
The Baptist Health of South Florida Miami Dolphins Report with insider Safid Dean is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer. Get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at BaptistHealth.net.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, it is hour number 3, baby, from the Homestead Miami Speedway. And, of course, the Mobile One Forever 400 will be raced this Sunday here. And Brendan Poole's going to join us in just a second here as Sean gets it all prepared. So we'll talk to him. Maple Leafs, by the way, lost to the Panthers last night, which was a beautiful thing, 3-1. Panthers evened up their record to 2-2. Tomorrow, they will host Vancouver there at Amerant Bank Arena. Jags defeat the Saints 31-24. The Heat will wrap up the preseason tonight at 8 o'clock. They will take on the Rockets. They will start the regular season next Wednesday against the Pistons. D-backs beat the Phillies yesterday in the NLCS 2-1, and Phils lead the series 2-1. The Astros, they defeated the Rangers 10-3. That series is tied at 2-2. Today, 5:07, Justin Verlander taking on Jordan Montgomery for the Astros and the Rangers. And for the Phillies, Christopher Sanchez and the D-backs, Joe Mattingly will be on, or Mattingly, that is 8:07. He is 2-0 right now in the postseason. So there you go. And then we've got the Canes on Saturday taking on Clemson at 8 o'clock. Dolphins and Eagles on Sunday at 8:20. Our pregame will start off at 6:20. So we get you ready for Dolphins and Eagles Ready to go? All right, Brendan Poole is
ready to go. Ready to join us?
How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Yeah.
I love this racetrack, but also I love Miami. So super cool to be on the Big O show and be with you, man. Thanks for having me.
Bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. So are you an NFL fan?
I mean, I watch a little bit, but I also just keep waiting to hear when the cars are going to come out.
Okay.
I'm joking. Yeah, but I watch, I got a couple fantasy football leagues, so I pay attention to it as much as I can, but obviously our schedule is crazy, man. I haven't had a week off in I don't even remember, man.
Since you were like 21?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's probably since I was 5. Let me give that. I've been racing 27 years, so our schedule is difficult, but that's part of the grind.
Yeah, no, but it's fun. So that's why I ask you if you follow. Is there another sport you follow outside of your own? No.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I like golf because I played it in high school. My dad wanted me to be a golfer, which that didn't turn out well for him. As you tell, I'm a racer now, but yeah, I mean,
hell of a lot more exciting.
Yeah, the golf is like, I was like, Dad, can I just go race? But I do enjoy golf. I'm a big Ricky Fowler fan. So fun when he's in the mix. I'm always watching because I pull for him. But I watch basketball. I played basketball in high school as well. I'm from the Houston area, so I'm an Astros fan. I'm pulling for them right now to come back against the Rangers. Growing up in Houston, we don't really pull for any Dallas sports teams, obviously.
No.
And
that's personal.
I am truly, I live sad all the time every football year because I'm a Texans fan.
Oh, dude, you got CJ Stroud, man. I like him.
Yeah,
I think you found yourself a quarterback now, man.
I hope so, but I miss Matt Schaub when we won 12 straight or whatever we did, and I felt like we finally had something going when I was in high school and I was just a young guy. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they can keep grinding away. They've been doing better here the last couple games. So we'll see.
You found a quarterback. You got a guy that's a hell of a lot better than Matt Schaub. Trust me, this guy's the real deal, man.
Yeah,
you found a franchise guy. You guys are gonna have some better days coming up there in Houston with that guy. When did you get the bug to race? Because you're 32, you said?
Yeah.
You've been racing for 27 years?
Yeah, I've been racing since I was 5.
You're 5.
Yeah, I was 5 years old. Yeah.
So wait a minute. So somebody put you in a car at 5 and then you started?
Yeah.
And when did the bug like No, I know it's obviously you start with some go-karts and stuff like that, of course.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. I started in California. I was born in Sacramento. My dad was a manager at a Midas Total Car Care, and one of the mechanics there noticed I had like this plastic battery powered Corvette, and I would literally drive the wheels off of that thing. My dad had to have batteries on standby because I would just freak out and cry and everything else. So he noticed I loved it so much, and he told my dad about quarter midget racing. And the first place I ever drove was the first track Jeff Gordon ever drove and started. It's a little dirt track called Capitol in the Sacramento area. But yeah, so I went and watched, and I remember it plain as day. My dad looking down at me and asking me if this is something I wanted to try when I was watching the kids race it. And I was like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, And then I was 4, so but then I ended up getting a car for my birthday. My dad got me a car when I was 5, and I just started. I started going ever since then, and worked my way through the ranks. And we moved to Texas when I was 7. I think I turned 7 like the week after we got there, and I traveled to San Antonio and Austin and all over the country, which is one thing that's great about racing when you're a kid. I've been to almost every state in the country. There's only a few that I'm missing because we just raced everywhere. And my dad, being a big golfer, was a Lee Trevino fan, and he had a book, and he said, if you could travel around and beat all the club champions, that you would probably have a chance at going pro. So my dad, not knowing anything, was like, we'll just go to all these racetracks all over the place and we'll race them. And if you can win, then maybe you have a chance at making it in this sport. And so that's what we did. And 220 wins and 9 championships later, I'm here and racing. And I've raced in Cup, trucks, Xfinity. I've done it all, and I've been in the highest form of motorsports for the last 9 years. So it's been an incredible, crazy journey to this point. And it's a fight. Every day is a grind to be here. As most of the fans know, you need sponsorship money, and I can't think. I got KSDT CPA on the car this weekend, so excited to have them. He's been a great sponsor for the team for many years. To JD Motorsports, and I got Finance Pro Plus with me this weekend. Check them out too. If you're a business owner and you want to save some money, Google them, check them out. They got a bunch of stuff they can help you guys out with. But everybody at the team's been great. We've ran really good here last year, finished 14th. So we're hoping for some big things this week and have another solid outing.
Brendan Poole joining us, and Brendan getting ready for the race on Sunday. So when I'm a kid, we do all kinds of racing too, with go-karts and all kinds of stuff. But then you never really go to the next level like you did, because we start seeing them go into walls and crashing into each other, and you're doing 200 miles an hour. And let's just, pardon my French, because we do have a lady here. Most of us just wussy out. Yeah. I won't even use the other letter. Most of us just wussy out, right? Because it takes some kind of an edge to do what you do. So where the hell do you find the cojones and the edge that you have in order to do what you do?
That's a really good question. I think, my crew chief would probably say sometimes I just pick my balls up and put them on the dash, but and every once in a while you got to do that sometimes, but I think for me, I've been doing it so long. As a kid, you're fearless when you're 5 years old. I look at a 5-year-old now that races a quarter midget or do what I did when I started, and I'm like, man, your parents are crazy. I can't believe my parents let me do that. But I think it's just more of like a fighter jet pilot mentality. Now, I'm not a fighter jet pilot. I'm a race car driver, but that's what they say. Right. It's like, you get in it and you just battle it out. I don't think about anything else other than what the job is. Right. And, I know there's going to be times where, you're going to get in a crash. I do compare that to football in a way, like, hey, you're going to get tackled. You're going to get hit, right? It's the same in racing. You're going to get caught up in incidents. You're going to crash. It's just kind of part of the sport. But I think, at the end of the day, you just have to, do the job, and you don't think about anything else. Like when I'm in the race car, I don't think about getting hurt.
Of course not. There's no way.
You're just going, and you're just trying to
fireman isn't thinking about that, running into that house that's lit up.
No, you just do the job, right? And I know this Saturday afternoon, and even probably a little bit in practice, will make my team owner a little bit nervous, but I'm going to run about a couple inches off the wall all afternoon, and that's just where you got to go, because that's where the speed is, right? And we're moving around all over this track, sliding and sliding up in front of guys, trying to make passes and stuff like that. And you anticipate a lot of things. There's a lot of anticipation that needs to be when you're a good race car driver, because you're constantly trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and then in that make those crucial decisions that change the outcome of the race for you on getting a great finish or being caught up in an incident or not getting a good finish at all. So you're constantly like trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and then make the best decision.
And you guys are thrill junkies, right? Because it's got to be a high that you don't get anywhere else in life. You know what I'm saying?
Turning
the corner at 200 miles an hour, and then, trying to play that game of passing somebody over. That's a high that I would imagine that you're seeking it. That's why you don't think of anything else, because you attack what we are all afraid of.
Yeah, I love the fight, and I love the battle so much, and I love the nerves, and I love all of it. I don't know anything any different. I've been doing it 27 years, since I was 5 years old. So I don't know anything any different, but I know that it means so much to me to be able to be on the track every single week. And, it means everything to me. So being able to do it is one thing, but I really wish, the fans could experience it more and could really feel what it's like to be, in the middle 3 wide inches from other cars, and trying to, move forward and not tear up your car and put yourself in better positions and all the stuff that you're trying to do.
Brendan, that's all right. We don't want to know. We don't want to know, buddy. You know what? Give us a 4K vision, some surround sound, and we'll kind of feel it that way. You know what I'm saying? Here, shake my seat or something, or, I'll be all right. I'll let you do that stuff. And, it just, so how do you, one of the things that I love about NASCAR compared to, let's say, Indy and stuff like that is it gets personal here sometimes. So what do you do to let the emotions out of it, just in case there is somebody that you have some gripe with or something and you want to pass them up and there's some beef and all that. How do you compartmentalize?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I mean, it's difficult to do, especially in a long season. You're racing a lot of the same guys over and over again. And a lot of times, depending on how your year's going, you're racing the same group of cars every single week, and you're bound to run into each other. It's just part of it. And I think you have to have a lot of respect for the other guys you're racing around. And know that when you're racing hard and stuff like that, things are going to happen. And sometimes some things happen, and yeah, we're just going to fight. I mean, it's just, sometimes you just got to fight, right? There's no getting around it. And, in my career, I've been in many, I've been police escorted out of places. I've had other drivers, crew members running off with the big fake check. It's just part of it. And I've been on the other end of it too, where I've been wrecked, leading a race, and my guys are fighting on pit road, and parents are fighting in grandstands, and just like, it's just part of the sport. And but I think that's what makes it exciting. It makes it a little bit closer to hockey, I guess, right? Because we get to throw hands sometimes, but I know it's super entertaining for the fans. And I think for the drivers, we're so invested in this, and it's taken everything to get to this point. And when you're in a situation to win a race or have a good run, or maybe you're still trying to prove yourself in the sport, and you get it taken away from you, it just doesn't sit well, and it and tempers flare, and it's just part of it.
But your fans get up. The beauty of NASCAR compared to the other racing, the passion that gets behind the fans behind each driver. So if you have a beef with another driver, then those fans are going to have a beef with those fans too. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's like it's pretty awesome, dude. Because you guys are like let's bring the conversation full circle. Each of you are like an NFL team.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, with your own fan base and your own people pushing you and all that. So then all of a sudden it's one group against another. So that's why I love NASCAR, because it has all the other storylines that aren't just about the race.
And that's what's so interesting too in the day that we live in now with social media, is like a lot of people get in on those conversations, whether you love a guy or you don't like a guy. You got fans fighting each other, and the drivers are fighting each other, and it's kind of like all out there for everybody to jump on in the conversation. And I think that's very entertaining for a lot of fans and people as well, and enjoying being in that fight and having their guy and standing up for them one way or the other, whether they're right or wrong, they've got your back. And I think that's something that's really cool about the NASCAR fan bases. I know, my fans have my back, and it's cool, because I've been certainly caught up in a lot of instances. Even this year, I've been caught up. I was part of the Ross Chastain whole situation, and Ross and I got into it, and I ended up getting crashed at Dover, and it just, all that just from that was just out of control and crazy. And but also was certainly an interesting time and fun, and also difficult, but it's part of the sport.
All right, I'm going to ask you something that's educational, and it may come from a place of ignorance a little bit, because I'm not the professional that you are. But I don't know if I can believe everything. Driver, engineer, crew chief, spotter, you've done all these kind of things, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, from the ignorance side, is that normal for all racers?
No, I don't think so.
Then does that make you better? Because when I read that, I go, shit, this dude's done like every angle of everything that goes on. So he knows about everything about his business. And so I wonder if it makes you a more intelligent race car driver.
I think, it's similar. I mean, it worked out this way. I would have much rather just driven the whole time, but Howard Hughes said, like, you want to know everything about your business, you talk to the janitor, right? So, I mean, I've just had to do in my career, I look back on it now, and I feel very blessed and fortunate that I had to go through a lot of the difficulties that I did have to go through to get here. One, it just made me appreciate all of this a lot more. And because I've had moments in my career where I didn't really race that much. I didn't know if I was going to race again. Didn't know if that race that I just ran was going to be my last one.
Right.
And I worked all the different jobs. I literally, Eric Jones and I were talking last weekend. I raced the Cup race at Las Vegas last weekend. And Eric and I were talking about, I've literally spotted and won a race spotting for Eric Jones in Berlin, Michigan in an ARCA race. So it's crazy. I don't think there probably isn't another driver in that situation right now in the top three that's had to do all the things that I've had to do to get here. But I'm proud of that. I worked really hard to create the opportunities and to find partners. And now I've had a lot of experience, and it's helped me be able to stay in the garage and get more opportunities and just race. So I'm grateful for all those opportunities. It definitely made me the person I am, and it made me a lot smarter too. Like I've learned so much over the last 9 years in the sport, in the top 3. It just made me not just a better businessman, a better race car driver, but maybe a better individual too. And I think it's helped me look at things a little bit differently. And I think some of that too is just age, right? Like I'm 32, I'm getting a little bit older. I think I appreciate things and look at things a little bit differently. But I'm certainly happy for the journey I'm on. Wouldn't trade it for anything, because it's made me who I am, and I still got a lot to go left in this sport. But I feel like those things are going to carry me and help create better opportunities for me in the future to get back to victory lane. It's been a while since I won a race, and I really want to get back there and have that feeling again. I've won so much in my career that I'd really like to do it here.
Well, hopefully we're your lucky charm, dude.
Yeah, hopefully.
So if you win, we're gonna have to get you on the following week from here. We're gonna get on a roll here. But when I saw that part of it, I thought of myself, because I've done this business for 33 years. The first 30 I was in radio. And one of the things that I did when I was in radio, I was a producer also and a reporter and all that before I was a talk show host. But one of the other things that I used to do was I used to go on the sales calls. So whoever was a sponsor on my show, I got to meet the sponsor. I got to see the sales guy do everything that he had to do. So then 30 years later, the world has changed. We no longer watch radio or TV the way we used to. Now it's all platforms.
Yeah.
So I left and I went on my own. And luckily that I knew the sales side of it. So now we can sustain ourselves.
Yeah,
you understand?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
And so I think anybody in any walk of life, you should know anything and everything about what you do, not just your job. You should know everybody else's job around you, because that makes you more valuable. Whenever I would train young people, I would tell them, be a sponge.
Yeah.
Learn anything and everything you can. Editing, reporting, hosting, sales, promotions, whatever you do, the more you know, the more valuable you become.
100%. I agree 100%. I'd say that to any young race car driver out there listening, or athlete, or anybody that wants to be in business. You got to know your business from start to finish, and you got to know the jobs at hand, so you can know what needs to be better, where you need to improve, how to find weaknesses within the team, like all of those things. It just matters. And when you're at a high level like yourself, and and myself, having to do this in the second most highest form of motorsports in the world, it's like there's only 38 guys that get to race on Saturday, right, in the world. And it's incredibly difficult, and you have to know your business from everything. You have to be able to sell sponsorships, but you also have to be able to get results and perform on the racetrack when it matters. So all of those things, super key.
So how's the season gone for you so far? Before you win this weekend,
we've been on a little bit of a roll the last couple months. There was a rule change from last year into this year that threw us a little bit for a loop. For the first part of the year, we had to work really hard to find some more speed in our race cars. But then sure enough, we kind of got towards the end of this summer, and we really started finding some more pace and really started putting ourselves in the mix more. So it's been good. So I'm excited to see what we can do this weekend. This is one of my better tracks historically. And, I think with what we've got, what's been working for us the last couple of months, being able to implement that here should give us some good results. But, it's been difficult. Surprisingly, we've ran the best at the road courses. The last 3 road courses we ran in the top 20. We had some strong runs there. So it's been a little bit of ups and downs. But certainly I feel like we've been on the last track here, and we want to finish these last 3 races out really strong.
What's the challenge, Brendan, in this race, in this track? What's the challenge?
Well, these cars are so difficult to drive. So, the Xfinity car compared to the Cup car, the trucks, they just don't really have a lot of downforce. So you're slipping and sliding all over the place, but you got to get the car to turn. You got to turn the middle of the corner, but then you got to have the forward drive to get off of the corner and hold throttle down to make momentum and carry that momentum down the straightaways. It's a very difficult thing to do with these cars.
You're making it sound like you're Tokyo drifting the entire time.
You're just about. You got to run. The preferred line here is right up against the wall. And you got to be able to do that all afternoon and not hit it. I mean, we're going to brush it. I'm probably going to touch it myself, right? There's not a whole lot of getting around it, but you don't really want to get into it hard. Start damaging your body. Also, you're losing downforce. You're affecting suspension, things like that, changing your race car up. It's just a very difficult thing to do. But these cars, you're teetering on a balance that's almost impossible to get. And you need the car to turn good in the middle, but you got to have good rear grip. And it's hard to get both to work at the same time. So finding that balance within your race car to where you can make up ground on other guys. The first race here, we were so good on entry to corner through the middle, and we struggled on exit, but we were so much better than everybody else down in and through the middle that it didn't matter. And we ran good all afternoon. So, I'm going to have to figure out what we got here this afternoon or this evening with our 20 minutes of practice and qualifying, and then make a game plan for tomorrow afternoon. It's difficult because we're going to practice at 6 p.m., qualify at 6:30, and we're going to race at 3 in the afternoon. I mean, right. It's going to be, the track's totally different for us from when we practice to when we race tomorrow. So a lot of challenges, but we got a lot of experience. I got some good guys. We'll make some good adjustments, and we'll go see what we can do tomorrow in the race.
One more out of ignorance. When this track, and we're in South Florida, baby, as you can see some clouds. How does this track run when it's let's say you get a hot day and it's a dry day, or you get that day where you have to deal with some rain? What's the difference in Homestead between the two?
It's drastically different. I mean, when the track's in the sun, it's just so hot and slick and no grip. You're slipping and sliding all over the place. It's hard to manage your tires when it's hot out. I mean, it just really makes it challenging. You're on the edge all day when it's hot and slick out. When you have some cloud cover and you get a little bit of track temp, when the track temp's lower because it doesn't have that sun beating on a day, you have a lot more grip. Really? A little bit easier to manage the tires. And for me, it's not necessarily like it's just more fun to race, but it makes it a little bit easier because the cars drive a little bit better. For me, I want it to be hot and slick and challenging and difficult. I feel like that's when I'm able to take advantage of that with my abilities and maybe make up for some areas where we might be lacking. And we can, get a good result when some other guys are struggling. So I'm hoping tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be a little warmer, a little sunny, hot and slick. So we'll see what happens. But that tends to always be when it's the best for me.
The KSDT CPA people will be rooting big time. They're man, they are. I mean, when we talk about Jeffrey and all these people, they are big supporters of racing, dude. I mean, they're such big supporters. He's opening up a new office now in North Carolina. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I told him, dude, don't bullshit me. You're opening it up because it's like home of racing there. That's why you're doing it, because we don't have it here. His Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach offices. So he's opening up one in Carolina. It has to do with racing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been able to do so much of the taxes for all the race teams in here. Why not have an office there and continue to build his brand? And he's done a great job building the brand in the sport. I think it really shows the power of NASCAR. So anybody out there wants to get on board and help support, I know somebody good that can get it done for you. So maybe reach out to me. I'm all over social too. It's just Brennan Poole, so check it out. But yeah, he's a great guy. Loves the sport. He's a real racer, and it's always fun when you get to work with guys like that.
Great people at KSDT CPAs. Brendan, thank you for taking some time, man. We really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend, man. Kick some ass.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Got it. Let's take a quick break. Back in 2 minutes right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Homestead Miami Speedway. So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono! You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there. A beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that. They can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She's mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner where Bono's leaving. Got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, check it out, CuttersEdgePro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? They can cut your trees down, and the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, we are back, baby, at the Homestead Miami Speedway this weekend, the mobile one, Forever 400. You want to explain, Sean Stanley, since you are the expert here out of us two, why this has been changed to the Forever 400, sir?
Yes, because it's Mr. Kevin Harvick's last race here in Homestead Miami Speedway. He races the number 4. And it is Forever 400 for Mr. Kevin Harvick.
That's it. There you go. So, Kevin Harvick. By the way, the show is proudly brought to you by EJD Construction. We love Eric and the great people at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, Dade, Broward counties. You call my man Eric, been a great sponsor of ours for many, many years. Please support the people that support us. Fully insured, liability, and workers' comp, so you never have to worry that you're going to get sued if somebody gets injured on your property. So please call ejdconstruction.com, Dade and Broward counties only, 305-433-4843. You see what we got here on the chat board. See, we got what is being talked about. Big O, people in this group are watching the Tua documentary right after you mentioned it, and it's already showing up in the recommendations to watch from YouTube. I'm telling you, dude, it is such an amazing documentary of Tua. I was just, you haven't seen it yet, right? You said, you wait till you. What did he say? What JJ say? It's the same documentary that was on Fox's. No, it's not. No, it's completely different. No, it's a different one.
No, because I was going to ask, because that's when I looked up Tua Doc. That's what came up, the one from Fox from his rookie
Right.
year.
Yeah. You got to put in the name. No, it's a different one. It's a different one. You should watch it. It's a different one. Yeah, it's a different one. I'm just hoping that Ramsey makes a big difference. I swear, though, he better not get injured again because of his record pace comeback to play. Some people are phenomenal healers and some aren't, man. We have no control over that. You know, that's just the way it is. Those are the things that you cannot predict. Do you remember that Willis McGahee blew out his knee in the Orange Bowl game? And his knee went the other way. It went inverted. Okay? So normally your knee bends this way, it bent that way. Okay? It inverted on that hit. That's bad. We were in April at the Combine in Indianapolis. This is just a couple of months later. He is walking without a limp, without crutches. From the second he came out of the practice field, he wasn't running or anything, but that's where all the players were. And then they come into the convention center. And I shit you not, from where he walked out of to his podium, 240 yards he had to walk. And it's a throng of media surrounding Willis McGahee all the way to the podium because everybody was filming and taking pictures. And it's like, you know, because they were all freaking out. How in the F did this guy blow up his knee? And in 3 months, he's here in April. No, I'm sorry, late March, early April, because that's when the combine is. The draft is late April. And here he is walking around without a limp. Are you kidding me? Walks up to the podium, takes all the questions, walks away, gets drafted, ends up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, he will be eventually, I would imagine. He had a Hall of Fame career. But Willis McGahee did the same thing, dude. You know what I mean? Some guys are freaks, man. Some guys are bad healers, and some guys are great healers. Can't do anything about it. It's just something none of us can control. You want a score prediction? Dolphins 29. Eagles 26. There you go. Big O, after Sunday's game, you giving out Dolphin midterm grades? No, I don't. No. I just need to start. I need to see them start winning these kind of games. That's all I need to start feeling better. I don't really care about anything else. I need you to start performing well against the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bills. I need you to win 2 of those 3. That's what I need. I'm not worried about anything else. I don't care about MVP awards. I don't care if you think it's Tua or Tyreek. I don't care if you think, Tua, you can replace him with somebody else. I'm not worried about any of that, dude. I need to see the Dolphins want to be great. That's it, dude. That's all I want. I'm not asking for anything else. I think I'm being very logical for what I'm asking. That's all, dude. So start winning these kind of games. That's what I need from the Miami Dolphins. By the way, KSDT CPAs, obviously a proud sponsor of our program, and they've got 3 amazing locations here in South Florida in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, folks. They also just opened up a location in North Carolina, too. So you got to love Jeffrey opening up that North Carolina location. And, of course, advisory, tax, assurance, they do it all, folks. They make it happen for you and your business. We've been telling you about KSDT now for going on 3 years now. This is our 3rd year with KSDT CPAs. And by the way, you can also, if you're looking for work, they are hiring in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, and in North Carolina. And listen, if you own a business, you know how it is. Your business needs accounting help all throughout the year to help you out with payroll, to help you out with all kinds of different things going on. Maybe you're trying to measure how things are going on with the market. Maybe you want to figure out how much your business is worth. Maybe you're thinking about selling it and you want to know how much it's worth. Maybe you're getting closer to retirement. Folks at KSDT CPAs can help you out. Maybe if you're thinking personally about retirement, they can set you up. They've got crypto experts too. So if you're a crypto investor like yours truly, they can handle your personal taxes, your business taxes, and also your crypto issues too. And we, by the way, take advantage. We all went through a bear market here last year, so you should be able to get a little bit of a break there. Now, from here on out, I don't know. The bull run is about to start. But anyway, reach out to our great people at KSDT CPAs. They will take care of you. 305-670-3370. All right. Let's see. I am offline. What happened? Did I lose my did the wireless drop or something? Well, no, I know you are, but it's like this went by the wayside here. All right, now I think we got it. I think we're good now. Yes. Yeah, it dropped. Maybe after a while it drops you. Yeah, is that what it is? Okay. All right. Let's see now. Let me make sure so I can get to the chat board here. Let's see. Big O, do the Miami Heat need James Harden? Could possibly be a trade because the Celtics got better. I'm not sure the Celtics are that much better. I don't believe in Porzingis. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know about the Celtics that much. I don't worry about the Celtics. I would worry more about Milwaukee than I do the Celtics, to be quite honest. And I would not want James Harden on this team at all. I haven't seen any credible person report anything about James Harden. Have you seen that? Okay, because I don't see Ricky. What credible person is reporting the James Harden thing? Because I don't think there is such thing. I haven't seen anybody of, like legit. It's kind of those fake Dolphin stories that you guys come up with because you're following people that never break stories and don't know anything about the team. The medical field nowadays is improving so fast and getting players back sooner than ever. That is true. Oh, Chris Brooks, IR? Okay. All right, that's fine. They're deep at running back. That means Jeff Wilson is fine, so they're going to activate him. That means Chan is on his way back, so it buys them another week in a roster spot. So, yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yes, that probably does end Chris Brooks' season. Yes, because they will only have a certain amount of players that they can bring back. Yes, that will end Chris Brooks' season. Yes, it will. You are correct. Unless there's
major injuries to running backs
in the next month. Yes, right. You are correct. Jonathan Cagle with a super chat. Thank you. In their prime, who are you taking? Marino Duper and Clayton or Tua, Waddle, and Hill? Marino Duper Clayton, bro. I got to take Marino Duper Clayton, man. You know, that's I've got a long track record with those guys. I don't have the track record yet with these guys like I do with them.
You know it's going to be on there, right?
Huh?
Oh, thinks another quarterback can play in this system.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. So true.
And receivers too.
So true. Bitcoin, by the way, is at 29.6. So it is holding strong and continuing to climb. Get it now? Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get it at a very good price down the line. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. Big O, since it's Halloween, who's the best horror icon? Michael Myers or Jason or Freddy? God. Definitely not Freddy. I'm going to go Michael Myers. What the hell? Okay. Now, you know what? I'll go Jason because I get Jamie Lee Curtis. So I get the young Scream Queen. Then I'm good. Okay. So I'm going Jason. Justin Herbert is the James Harden of the NFL without the MVPs. Bleacher Report had an article the other day. The Heat were not interested in Harden. Yeah, of course they're not interested. Anybody that comes up with a Harden thing is just somebody with, searching for clickbait and all that. I know, I follow it. Nobody credible is reporting anything with Harden. That's just stupid fan crap, silly crap that people that want to be media members and they have no access to the media, but they want to create some kind of a Twitter page that is like they're media related or something, yet they have no access, no nothing, but they'll troll people and throw out all kinds of stories that really have no legs whatsoever. It's sad, bro. It really is sad how pathetic it is with sports reporting nowadays. This is why I spend my time having to shoot all this stuff down and explain to you all how bogus the business is and how many people are out there that don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they have no access. Hell, there are media members that don't even break a story ever. Ever. Big O at the grocery store. Oh, I'm going Flintstones, of course. You got to go Flintstones always. Oh, what were your thoughts on Jeff Ireland? That was a long time ago, bro. That's old. Wasn't a fan of his then. That's all I can say. Big O, I have all my money on the Dolphins this weekend. Well, you should. You should. All right, let's do a little birthdays. By the way, I have 2 picks today for football this weekend. I'm going Detroit +3 at Baltimore, and I'm going to go Kansas City -5.5 against the Chargers. They have their injuries. He's a choker. I just think that this is one where I like Kansas City to win by a touchdown. And if you look, on average, they win most of their games by more than 5.5 points. So I think they'll win by a touchdown against Herbert, who I think is a choker as it is. And then I'm taking the Dolphins plus the 3 now, right? I think they went up, 2.5. 2.5. Now, but that's, my 2 strong picks. I'm going Detroit +3, Kansas City -5.5. I'm going to go Dolphins too, but that's going to be a separate one. But I am betting on the Dolphins because I think they're going to win. NBA YoungBoy is 23 today. Snoop Dogg is 51. John Krasinski is 43. I'm sorry. Kamala Harris is 58. Candace Swainpole, the model, is 34. William Zabka, the actor, is 57. That's Karate Kid, by the way. Tom Petty was born on this date in 1950. We lost him, of course, in 2017. ASAP Ferg, rapper, is 34. I don't even know if that guy's a big rapper or not, but I just said it for the hell of it. Let's see. Andy Dawson, soccer player, is 44. Metal singer from Suicide Silence, Mitch Lucker, was born in 84 on this date, passed away in 2012. Viggo Mortensen, the actor, is 64. Wow. I didn't think he was that old, dude. Damn. Wrestler Scott Hall, passed away in 22, was born on this date in 58. I always got to look at Sean and make sure it's approval, like it's not some bogus wrestler. Mickey Mantle was born on this date in 31. We lost him in 95, of course. Let's see. Bela Lugosi was born on this date in 1882, that is, and lost him in 1956. Bela Lugosi is dead. That's if you like a little Bauhaus and a little Peter Murphy. It's one of their better songs. Bela Lugosi is dead. Jennifer Freeman, TV actress, is 37. I don't know who she is, but she's cute. I can tell you that. That is birthdays today. Let's go with today in Musica history. And we start off in 2018 on this date. On what would have been Tom Petty's 68th birthday, the city of Gainesville renamed the former Northeast Park, a park where young Petty had often visited, as Tom Petty Park. In 2014, John Holt, reggae singer and songwriter who first found fame as a member of the Paragons, died at 67. Holt penned The Tide is High, made famous by Blondie. In 2014, George Harrison, the childhood home of the former Beatle, sold at an auction at the Cavern Club for $250,000. Three-bedroom mid-terrace home where the Quarrymen held some of their first rehearsals before the band evolved into the Beatles in 1960. It's actually pretty cool, by the way. In 2011, Bob Dylan, photographer Barry Feinstein, better known for taking enduring pictures of musicians such as Dylan and George Harrison, died at 80. Feinstein was responsible for capturing more than 500 record sleeves, including Harrison's All Things Must Pass album and the cover photo for Dylan's album, The Times They Are A-Changin', the Rolling Stones sleeve for Beggar's Banquet, shot in a graffiti-covered toilet, who also Feinstein worked. In 2007, Killing Joke Paul Raven, bassist with the punk band Killing Joke, died of a suspected heart attack at 46 in Switzerland, where he was recording. He left the band in 87 before forming Murder, Inc. and joining Ministry, Prong, and Mob Research. In 2003, Amy Winehouse released her debut album, Frank, named after Frank Sinatra. The album now sold over 1 million copies in the UK. In 2006, George Michael openly smoked a cannabis joint during an interview on a TV show. The singer was filmed backstage in Madrid, Spain, where the drug is legal. Michael said, "It's the only drug I've ever thought worth taking. This stuff keeps me sane and happy, but it's not very healthy." So there you go. And that's what happened today in Musica history. All right? All right, let me check and see, just in case we have any Cash Apps or Venmo. No Cash Apps or Venmo, but you can send one anytime during the weekend while you're listening. What do we got? The Super Chat? No, I got that already. Ray? What does Ray say? Justin Herbert is the James Harden of the NFL, but without the MVPs. I read that. Yeah. Oh. No, I read that. What? Big O, I have all my money on my screen. Oh, frozen? Oh, I'm offline again. That's what it is. That's what it is, dude. This thing keeps.
Ray Gruyon sending super chat. He says, "Howdy-o. We all thank you for your top-notch content you give us every day."
Oh, thanks.
Signed, longtime follower. I'm gonna butcher this. Abrazos, my friend.
Thank you, sir, because this thing keeps knocking me off. So thank you for the super chat. That is very kind of you. All right, we are out of here. We thank Brendan Poole. We thank Anthony Chang, Safid Dean, Cameron Wolf, Alan Kinkle, and all the great people, Jeffrey Tarabolis, all the great guys from KSDT CPAs for making it nice and easy. Sean Stanley, the man that masters this entire program. Stephanie Harris, by the way, wherever you're at, Stephanie, out here on the track. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you, as always, for helping us out and making it nice and easy for us to broadcast out here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Come on out here. Enjoy the races this weekend and the Mobile One Forever 400. We'll see you tomorrow night after the Canes and Clemson game. Manny Navarro will join us post-game straight from the locker rooms. Hopefully some good news. I'm afraid it's not going to be. And then Sunday night, we're back. That gentleman right there and myself, because he's the gentleman, not me. At 6:20, we will start to get you ready for the 8:20 kickoff for your Miami Dolphins taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see you all on Saturday night. Same time, same place, same bat channel.